Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are out there. Welcome back to the live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It is so good to see you. Thank you so much, folks, for tuning in. I appreciate you joining me bright and early, for me at least, on this Tuesday. It's we got a big announcement today. I'm so happy to be writing code with you. It's what day is today? My gosh. It's Tuesday, but it's February 11th, 2020. Yes, and we're going to write a little bit of code today. Let me say hello to the folks that are here in the chat room. Hugo is here. Good morning. Good to see you, Hugo. Sean, good morning to you. Alka's another member of the Live Coders. Who's that streamer? It's me. WQ Walter.
Call to just resubscribed for 9 months.
Thank you so much for that. 9 months, that's going to put you into a green subscriber badge hat. Thank you so much for the support, Walter, with your Twitch Prime. That is tremendous. Thank you so much. Of course, if you have Amazon Prime, hook it up to your Twitch account, and you can use that for one subscription anywhere you'd like here on Twitch. If you use it here, I'm going to give you 17 emotes. I'm going to give you the ability to throw emotes at my face. And we'll turn off ads. And we're going to make a donation all quarter long to code.org. They're helping folks, they're helping kids learn about science and technology in the classroom. Thank you so much for your support. There we go. There's a shout out for Alka. Let's say, hey, Kabazi, good to see you. Motown Andy. Stelzy, hello. Veronica Hex, congratulations to you. Veronica, I don't know if you saw this. Veronica had a really good interview. Congratulations. Hello. Big ups to our friend Veronica there. Very, very happy for you. Fierce Kittens is here. DD Walsh, hello. And donut-filled Bellevue morning. Is there anything else that you get in Bellevue but donuts? I go to Bellevue and I go to the Ruth's Chris. I get steak when I'm there. DD, she gets donuts. I don't know. Hey, to each their own. Honey Pop, hello. Good to see you. Did I miss anybody? Eternal Dev Coder, good morning to you. Tacos. Oh yeah, tacos are really good in Bellevue also. I end up going to Matador is more in Redmond, less in Bellevue. So, yeah, Ruth's Chris is really good. Kitstead, hello, good to see you. Look at all the folks trickling in here. This is great to see. I still need to fix a little bit of width thing going on there. For some reason, man. Let me see if I can fix this real quick before we get too far into things here. Get that marquee refreshed for up top. Let's get the sentiment running properly. And we should start to see those numbers and things pop up. There we go. Thank you for the shout out. Fierce Kittens is another member of Live Coders. Cactus, that's right. So the big news, the big thing, of course, I want to make sure that I share today is we found this video of Fierce Kittens watching streams last night. This is how things happen. And you try and take the phone away and yeah, it gets to be a problem. That's the big news. That's the big announcement. No, that's not the big announcement we're going to make today. Friends, we've got a sponsor we're bringing on. I'm very happy to announce. I'm very happy to share. There's a tweet that's going to go out in just a little bit, but Madrina's Coffee, they've been in touch with me. They've been sharing a little bit of their product and asking me to check it out, and I've really been enjoying their cold brew coffees. They've got a bunch of course, pods and beans and things that they make available. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it from their website. But I'm now a Madrina's sponsored streamer. So really cool to see. Yeah, Sarah Fats is here. Coffee indeed. Oh, it's so good. But for me now, there can be only one. And we're going to be getting some fuel for the game, fuel for the grind. I've been kind of extending on that and thinking fuel for your mind. And we'll be drinking Madrina's here on stream. Very happy for that. Where's the code? The code, you can execute the coffee command in the chat room or the Madrina's command. Use the code Fritz and you'll get 40% off your order if you go to Madrina's Coffee. There you go. So thank you so much to our friends at Madrina's. We're going to be scheduling an intro stream with them. They call it an activation. But we'll schedule a welcome stream with them. We'll have some folks from Madrina's on, and they'll do some giveaways, and we'll have a good time together here on stream. Sarah!
Farts just gifted 10 subs.
Oh my goodness, 10 subs into the stream. Thank you so much. That's a way to wake folks up and get started here. This is Sparta, Rob Roy, Fraggle Rock, Silly Porridge, Pit Lord, Ono Free Kevin, Devmana NL, BG Rocky, is that Clading, and Alex Headley 8. Congratulations. You all just got subscriptions. We're going to make 10 donations to code.org, and 50 emotes just went into the channel as part of the Valentine's celebration here on Twitch. Thank you for the follow. So we're going to be doing, coffee, subscriptions, tremendous. Thank you so much for that support. I'm looking for is that DJ Deep X? Welcome on in. So look at this, already a bunch happening. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you to our friends at Madrina's getting us started. And I've even got a fancy little Madrina's mug there. You'll see the Madrina's logo go by in the logo window there. We're going to be redoing a little bit more of the layout over the next week or two. You saw a little bit already with the silhouette at the beginning of the stream. There's more interesting and fun things like that coming. Kaiser Carl!
Kaiser Carl 2010
no, it's Kaiser.
Just resubscribed for
Kaiser.
6 months. Wow, 6 months.
6 months. Thank you so much, Kaiser Carl. That's going to put you into a blue hat. Thank you so much. AVI Desk.
Just resubscribed for 6 months.
6
Time
months with
flies.
you. Oh my goodness, yes. Thank you so much for that. We'll make 2 more donations to code.org Friends, do I need to go into party mode? I see the hype train starting. 4 minutes and 30 seconds to try and get us. We're already on level 3? We jumped right into level 3. The hype train is running. Oh my goodness. Do we need? I think we need to. Should I drop? I should. Right?
I'm Scott.
This is totally a thing here. Alka! Absolutely. We're going to go into the party mode. Alka, thank you so much for the sub. And, welcome back to the hype train party. Oh, yes. And, mobile client did not like the chat today. Says freestyle coder. Sorry to hear that. We've got another 4 minutes to get to level 4 of the hype train. That's a bunch of free emotes for everybody that gives subs, that cheers more than 100 bits, and try and push a little hype here. Musical bookworm with the cheer. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. And we'll make another donation to code.org. I'm not going to install Docker right now. So, while we're waiting, while the hype train is happening, Motown Andy chiming in. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. I want to move on and I want to talk about ASP.NET. Mobile Blazor bindings are available now in an experimental model for everybody to check out. It's amazing. Cool new ways that you can use Blazor to make mobile apps. It comes with Xamarin now, and look at that. Build your mobile apps. We already know how to do Blazor, but now we get it. Oh yeah. Thank you, Dee. Very cool. Another 100 bits. We'll make another donation to code.org. Copper Beardy with the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. Everything's out of control. Look at this. Dee with another cheer. Welcome in, Raiders. My name is Jeff Fritz. You caught us during a hype train. We've ratcheted up party mode. I'm your DJ for the next few minutes here. We got 2 minutes till we try and reach level 4, and Kaiser Carl is helping us out. Thank you so much for those bits. Every cheer, every sub, we make a donation to code.org. Hugo. Oh yeah, there goes the bits bank. Thank you so much, Hugo. Dee with another 100. Thank you so much. We've got about a minute and a half left, 3% to go to get us over to level 4. Oh, Kelly, we're almost there. Yeah, that's right, Hugo. My name is DJ Fritzy Fritz. Welcome on in. We're gonna be programming with Blazor, HTML and CSS, but first, Dee with another 100 bits. Thank you so much. The hype train moves on, and we're into level 4. Motown Andy, thank you for another 100 bits. Appreciate that. Thank you, Sman, for the moderation there. So, we're having a lot of fun. We're raising money for code.org. We're going to make a donation at the end of the month. We already made a donation here. Actually, we're going to make our first donation, for January next week. I'm really excited to share that with you because this is a lot of fun. We're writing code, we're building applications, and everybody gets emotes. Everybody gets to have a little bit of fun, and I sound like a DJ. Teamwork in Motown Andy. All right. Should we slow things down? Should we get back into this? Get back to the code? What do you think? I think we should. Hector, thank you so much for that cheer. And emotes, Valentine's emotes are going around to folks all throughout chat for all the cheers, all the subs. Alka, love the arms, robot arm emotes happening over there in chat. Let me roll over so you can see what's going on over here. There it is. It's over here. Alright. It's snowing down. Nice shirt. You like the shirt? Look at that. So they sent me the cool mug from Madrina's. There it is. T-shirt. No hat. But they sent me a couple patches. I can make a hat. So that's a thing. Alright. Let's slow things down. Let's get back to normal here. Eeny, meeny, miny. Mo. That's better. So the hype train's going along. You're welcome to participate. Yeah, no hat? Can you believe it? No hat. Oh my goodness. Don't they know who they're talking to? So, there's about another 2 minutes on the hype train. If folks want to continue to participate, that's great. That would be a level 4 hype train. So they're trying to complete, and folks are going to get some emotes out of that just for participating. Very cool stuff there. JAF 1021 is here. Oh my goodness.
Hey, Ma! Can we get some meatloaf?
Can we?
Can
we get some meatloaf?
Add some value. The meatloaf! I never know what she's doing.
I know Kelly28. Thank you for the 100 bits. I appreciate that. Smab hates the party mode. I'm sorry.
Let me add some value.
Sarah with 200 bits. Thank you so much. Ninja Ola. We are now sponsored by Madrina's Coffee. There's going to be a panel that arrives in the Twitch panel just below us, and you're going to be able to execute the Madrina's command, the coffee command in chat, and execute. Click through. If you order coffee from Madrina's coffee.com and use the coupon code Fritz, you'll get 40% off your entire order over there. Really great stuff. Smab, of course it reminds you of bad auto-tune, because it is. So, all right. Let's see here. I don't have it in my sponsor contracts that they have to send a hat. You know what? I need to put that in there, Stealthy. You must send me a hat. Gunner sent me a hat. So, all right. What do you say we head over? We take a look at the code. We talked a little bit about the mobile Blazor bindings. That's really cool to be able to use our same Blazor technology to build mobile applications. But let's talk about... Oh, I need to get the music playing. You're right. And we'll take a look at some of our pull requests and continue in on our Blazor components. I, of course, play music to code by. Today I'm going to play in honor of Madrina's, one of the primary colors in their logo. This is green. Oh, no. Oh, Mom. What are you doing? No, you don't want to hear me sing. You do not want to hear me sing. Mom, don't do this to me. Oh, no. There we go. Hype train is done. And everybody gets an emote out of that. Very cool stuff. Thanks so much. So this is green. This is from Music to Go by our friend, Mr. Carl Franklin. This music scientifically designed. It's engineered to get you in the flow, get you in the groove, so that whatever task it is you're working on, you can focus on it and just get stuff done. Check it out, mtcb.pwop.com, or you can execute the music command and get your copy today. Kabazi wants to share a trick for Blazor. Let me queue up that message here so we can take a look at this. Get a little bit bigger here. Let me head back over here. Thank you for the follow. Is that KBU Dinoski? Welcome. Appreciate you joining us. Gabazi says, here's a trick for on Blazor. If you ever needed to add ref to a component in a loop, you could add some code injection in the ref attribute. Really? Really? Let's see what that looks like. And that's interesting. My featured chat is right up against the side there. Let's see. Can I move that over? Give it a little bit of breathing room. Let's do that. How's that? I think that's a little bit better. There were some updates to the featured chat application over the last day, so we got some changes that we're seeing there. So here's what Kabazi is referring to. So you can, what is this? Add ref to a Blazor component in a loop. Oh, if you're dynamically adding components. Interesting. That's interesting. Let's see. Copperbeardy, you'd like to hear a rendition of How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? No. No. That is not happening. Oh. I know better than that. That's a neat little trick. Okay, thanks for sharing, Kabazi. So we have 3 pull requests sitting out there. The range validator, we need to still get some unit tests for this one. We have some unit tests for the footer of our, excuse me, for, we got to do a review here. All right. For the data list component, excuse me. So we'll take a look at this, push through that review. I thought I already did a review of this. And the last one here is the repeater column. This is a little bit tricky, and we're going to need to discuss this one before we decide to merge it. How much is that pony in the meadow? It's how much is that pony in the meadow? I thought it was how much is that doggy in the window. Hugo trying to set me up here. No, not going to fall for that easy. Are you kidding? No. You can't trick me like that, Mr. Doll. Oh, yes. All right, so let's start with taking a look at the unit test for footer style inside of these components. And these are components that are designed to emulate, designed to mimic the way that the ASP.NET Forms, web forms controls worked. In this way, you can copy your markup over to Blazor, and it should work. And we're making more and more progress on this every day, so we can get more components ready and in folks' hands so they can migrate away from web forms easier. So there's a couple additional items that looks like force push in here that we need to take a look at. So let's take a look at what's changed in here. And these are, I like what Gareth has done here, because he's providing some samples that show how the footer style is applied. And right now you see it's inside child content here. And we see specifying the background color of a footer and the fore color of a footer. Right, that data list at the bottom of it. This is what it should look like. What's going on over here? Oh my goodness. I do not have a Chiefs hat. Why didn't we get the channel points overlay refresh notifying me here? But I do not have a Chiefs hat. The problem with the Eagles hat is it's green, and I have a green background that it pulls out here. Not a Chiefs hat, Chiefs hat. Oh my goodness. Fixter Jake, 7 months. Thank you so much for the sub. Is there an Eagles hat I can't really do because, like I said, the background disappears on me here. But thank you so much for the sub there, Jake. Is there a different hat? I would, it'd be nice to wear the hat for the Super Bowl champs. But I cannot do that today. I just don't have, and I need a hats command that lists what's in my repertoire here. An invisible hat, it would have to be then. Oh, Smab, don't do this to me. My Eagles hats with the sports hats on the other side. I have tech and pop culture hats here on the table. Still need that command. I do. a link to the collection so you can see all of them. And I have them all set up so that I can take pictures. Maybe I'd do that later. Put that on a GitHub repository somewhere so you can see what they all are. Oh yes, I have the Visual Studio hat. Of course. All right, give me 1 second here. I'm going to grab that hat. I'll be right back. Shut up. There we go. Visual Studio hat. As promised. All right. Let me go back over here, and I'm going to mark that. There we go. Thank you so much for the redemption, and we'll put on that different hat. So that's what the break was for? Yes. Yes. So there's all kinds of things you can redeem channel points for. You can change my fonts. You can change my editor theme. Go ahead, click through. And I just sent over to our friend DJ Vortex his voiceover that he redeemed about a week ago on stream before I went to Stockholm, and I recorded it just the other day. Thank you for the follow, Zarleen. Welcome. If I put the images on GitHub, we can PR a beautiful website layout for GitHub pages. That's not a bad idea, Azure Sharp. That is not a bad idea. Let me put that up. That's not a bad idea. Yeah. I like that. I will make that happen. With actually good markup. Well, yes. Wackos, you're right. We're trying to emulate the old markup here inside this project so that it still looks and feels the same as web forms. So the sample here looks pretty clear. For the footer style, and in the navigation for the data list, Gareth added a link to the footer style here. That's good. Added a tree node down the side that includes the footer style sample. Good. Some tests for footer style class. This is exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this child content and how that is bothering me in a minute. But the tests run through, and based on the check that we saw, these tests are running properly. So Gareth's done a nice job putting these together. Here's the flow layout when there's no footer style, when it's empty. Is it properly not including a style tag, style attribute? It is not. Flow layout, footer style. So if you specify some other style information here, is it properly adding those? Sure looks like it. And we had a little back and forth on whether console write line is okay inside of the tests. I'm okay with having extra console write lines inside of our tests. I don't mind that as part of the test, but I don't want to see extra debug or console write lines inside of the library itself. Maybe we add some logging over there, but I don't want to see this console write line. Gareth, hello. There's our announcement. There you go. So, footer style class, if you have a CSS class, it does properly output a class tag. Good. And footer style empty when we're in a table layout, it does not put a style tag on that last table cell. Good. And similar changes here for interacting with the table. And a little bit of code cleanup in footer style razor. Nice. So this is, I'm good with this. All of the tests passed. And how is it? I need to add my review, and it's real simple. Looks good. Tests all run, and the code looks clean. So approve, and I should be able to merge at this point, right? There we go. So I am going to squash and merge. This is going to push into the dev branch, these updates. So we have tests, that we can then reference and make sure that our footer style element works. And as we roll that out to other components, it'll bring that same feature set over there. It's for coffee, Caparino. Yep. So, yes, we are no longer drinking that other energy drink. I'm going to open the issues tab so we can go look at that in just a second. So, Gareth also added a pull request for the data list repeater column. Now, the data list isn't so much a grid, but it's a way for you to list things, so it looks almost like the list view inside of Windows Explorer, and it kind of repeats going across depending on the number of columns that you have. You never really liked cold coffee, Gareth? You know what? I wasn't too sure about it until I tried it, and I'm pretty good with it now. And this is vanilla cappuccino flavored. It's quickly become my favorite here. Now, what Gareth found while looking at the layout for this, and there's a lot of files that were changed as part of this. We need to be able to iterate across and paint in this order when you have 7 items. Look at that. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's kind of weird when you think about how we place things on web pages. It's not a real good thing there. Fixter Jake, yeah, make sure you check out that 40% off code, coupon code Fritz, and we're going to schedule some of the Madrinas folks to join us here live on stream. It might be next. It's either going to be late this week or early next week. You'll see it pop up. But we'll announce and we'll have those folks join us, and there'll be some giveaways, and we'll have some fun with them on stream. So, we've got some initial testing that it's passing. So it's not well researched. Just made it up. I don't like seeing. Don't tell me that in an issue in a pull request. I did lots of studying and made sure this works. Assumes that the data provided in items is small, non-paginated. Item is declared as IEnumerable. Yeah, it is. The algorithm is realizing all data in a to list in order to get the count, which is required to handle the novel layout for data. 7 items in 3 columns. Well, you specify the column count. So, well, yeah, so you need to know how far down you go so that you go across. Caparino says, implemented a full web app using ASP.NET Core and MVC. Didn't want to use Angular because Angular's kind of heavy. Ended up with many jQuery scripts and spaghetti code. So with any kind of user interface library, with any kind of code that you're going to write, keeping things organized is not something that framework can force on you. ASP.NET MVC does a decent job of that by forcing folder structure on you with the convention helping with configuration. But Angular, jQuery, Vue, you can write spaghetti code with all of them. It's easy to do if you don't follow their conventions. jQuery is very much a library that doesn't have a user interface definition and framework coupled to it. It's up to you to integrate appropriately with your stuff. So you can certainly build tools and frameworks that control how jQuery interacts with your web page. But use what works best for you. Use what makes you happy. So there you go. Thank you, Kates, for sharing that the coffee link to Honey Pop. Yeah. So what Gareth did here was set up a demo page with various layouts, widget extended to handle varying number of widgets, for example, up to 10. Yeah. the widget sample that we have inside of our sample code. Tests provided with some comments, variable names in datalist.razor. Okay. Let's see. We can work on that. Datalist.razor can do a slight refactor across the table and flow layouts. This is something I was concerned about, is we have two different types of layout for our data list component. We may want to separate those into two separate child components so we can isolate the code for that. Steps are much the same. It's really just tagging the changes. We'll squash and resubmit once I'm happy with the preview. Yeah, look, a bunch of changes here. That's okay. So we can take a look at this, and it's pending review, but the tests are passing. So that's pretty cool to see. There's 31 files here. I can certainly check this out and take a look at it individually. After Blazor client side removed. Why did you remove repeat columns razor? Not quite sure. Let's take a look. I can check this out and take a look at this locally, so we can see exactly what Gareth added here. So I'm going to copy these commands, go back over to my Windows console, paste those in, and hope that it works. No. Got to copy those individually there, friend. It won't do that thing. I guess, right? Do that. Okay. And check that out. We can take a look at what's going on. Brave Cobra, hello. Hugo says, when I think of jQuery, traditionally anyway, as a HAL for browsers. HAL. A heck of an accessibility language. Horrible activity language. A happy accident language. How? What's HAL? Duncan Kruger, hello. Hardware abstraction layer, says Duncan Kruger. Well, when you put it that way. Okay. All right, hardware abstraction layer. Thank you. At work now, so lurking. That's all right. Hardware abstraction language. That's good too. HAL 9000. That's what it is. Did this actually? No. That's not. Why is this? Yeah. Not the there's a GitHub CLI? I didn't know there was a GitHub CLI. That's annoying that it's not going to check out that branch. I mean, and that doesn't make... Wasn't there a thing down here? Command line instructions, please. What's up? Add a backtick before the parens. You think so? There? Nope. After the parens too? Nope. Before the last parens? Got it. Ah, there we go. Thank you. Yep, reload everything. Let's take a look at how this works. Come on. I didn't know you had to escape parentheses. Look at that. I learned something new today, friends. All right. So let's take a look at what after Blazor server side looks like, because it looked like there were a couple of things added in there. Right? We should have gotten a sample in there as well. Let's go. Also, after this builds, those unit tests should run as well. Right? Downloading proxy script. Nice. Go, go, go. Parens, $, quotes, apostrophes in PowerShell. So there's my data list. Simple flow, header style, complex styles, repeat columns. Here we go. Here's a flow data list bound to a collection of 9 widgets, 3 columns, layout mode. Well, if it's 9 widgets, I only see 8. It didn't include the 9th. In 3-column layout mode, flow data list bound to a collection of 9 widgets. Okay. Table data list bound to a collection of 10 widgets in 4-column layout mode. Nice. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I get it. Table data list bound to a collection of 9 widgets, 3 columns. Yep. Table data list, and right when it's in the table, and it's vertical, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Table that's horizontal, then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know who would do it this way, but whatever. And a table data list bound to a collection of 4 widgets in no columns horizontally, and instead it goes vertically. Got it. Okay. So this kind of makes sense, and when I look at, right, not only do I have my repeat column sample here, it's also over here in the tree view. So that's nice. Right, that I've got that sample there that I can refer to as well. Okay. This should also work nicely in the WebAssembly model, so let's take a look at that one. Make sure that that's working as well, so I'll start a new instance of it. Dev was working in base 0, the tech writer in base 1. See, that's 2 different people. It's 2 different people. All right, let's see what we get here when this runs WebAssembly, right? Setting automatically detects settings to off in network and intranet. Gets rid of that. You're right. But I do need it because I do connect to the VPN occasionally. Here we go. Loading. Loading. Come on. Let's go. It's so much
Anticipation.
See? Failed to load resource. Server responded. Okay, well, that's on favicon. .NET JS. Huh? That doesn't make sense. What kind of a world? All right, so something happened in our client-side version of this broke. .NET JS. I know. Where did that come from? That wasn't in there before. It was like Mono.js. It shouldn't be a thing. Right? It's not in my list of source code here. Sample data should actually go away. We'll get back to that. But there is no .NET JS referenced here. Let's run that again. Right? I'm going to force a rebuild of the client one. Output. So we can see it building everything. No, not jsharp.net. No. Conficient. Hello. No. Hey, Dan Siegel. You're right, it shouldn't be a thing. Raventhorn. Big announcement is we are now sponsored by Madrinas. There we go. We'll update the title. And okay, so that looks like it built properly. Let's go debug and start it. Take a look at the source code and see if there's something that we kind of boofed in there, right? Got it pushed just off here. So I'm running in, this is Edge, the new Edge with Chromium. That's fine, it can't find a favicon ICO. There we go. Now it works. And actually, if we take a look at the at the source code, right? Yeah, see, there is no .NET JS. What is that talking about? There is no thing there. And if we take a look at the network requests, right? Refresh it one more time. Right? Mono JS. There it is. So we're okay there. Good. So now if we take a look back at data list, go over to the repeat columns. Raventhorn has a special affinity towards the J++ effort. Really? You worked on that team and wrote an MS Press book for it. Oh, very cool. Well, welcome in, Raventhorn. Okay, this guy, I think, kind of goes back to what we saw up here. Right? There was a... this. That shouldn't be there. Right? And if I restart this, right, it was literally removing the repeat sample that was in there. So let's restart that and see what it looks like. I told you to stop. Stop. IP Leak 67, welcome in. Thank you so much. Polarin, it's going well. I think it's going well. We're looking at some pull requests here. See what we can do to help out. To take a look. There we go. Now it works. So initial feedback for over here. I'm going to jump down to... I didn't even need to jump down, right? Where was it that CS Proj had it removed? Right here. You shouldn't be removing any of the samples from the client-side version of the demo applications. Please remove this entry. Add that comment. Okay, going back over here. So, I mean, that looks good, right? And it works properly for what I'm expecting. And if we take a look and run all of the unit tests, there's now 133 unit tests in here. So let's kick that off, and we should see all 133 get flagged as passing. Good idea, company. Says TreeView, hierarchical visuals. Yes. The project we're working on here is building Blazor components that look like the ASP.NET Web Forms components. So we want to make sure we replicate as much of what they do as possible. Now this is saying only 115 were detected and passed. I'm going to assume that's right. I'm not going to go digging into it. But I have a feeling that there's a difference there between the two. That's right. Execute the coffee command in the chat room. Coffee? Listen to me. Coffee. Execute the coffee command in the chat room. And you can get a coupon code there. Use the coupon code FRITZ to get 40% off. Coffee at madrinas.com. Let's see there. The J++ team, well, I wouldn't say they created the .NET framework. They were there at the beginning. And, yeah, became .NET. Yes. They were down that path of, we want to make a Java framework that works on Windows. So that was definitely a thing. All right. What do I think of... Ozdy asks, let me take this question. What do I think of TypeScript plus React plus Node? I like that a lot more than just C# plus Node. C#, listen to me. Than JavaScript and Node. There's something to be said for type safety as you're writing software. Let's see if we can solve and find our errors earlier in the process of writing software. And the type safety that TypeScript is going to give you is going to help with that and move that error detection earlier in your process so you can get get things fixed sooner, faster, better, while you're still writing that same code, instead of when you're compiled and you're running the code directly in a website or directly inside that Node application. So I think if I'm going with Node, I definitely want to have TypeScript. React seems to be the one of the two user interface frameworks that people really like right now. The other one being Vue. Angular 9 was just released. I'm waiting to hear some feedback on that. Raventhorn was there when they made the switch from pure Java into making it for Windows. Yes. That was a thing. Svelte is gaining momentum, says the Good Idea Company. Yeah, our friend Sue Hinton was working with Svelte over the weekend. That looks really interesting. Dan Siegel makes a very good point here. You want to know about your errors rather than let your users figure out what you missed. Yeah. Right, and that's what leads to good things like continuous integration and testing and making sure those things work before we go and deploy anything. Get those tests done. Validate our application before we ship. So, all right. Zakaria Wasim, hello from Morocco. Oh my goodness. Welcome in, Zakaria. There we go. Appreciate you joining us here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. So this looks like it's working properly. The tests, let's take a look at the tests for the data list repeat columns that we added here. So, right, Gareth mentioned in working with the data list, you end up with, right now it's getting uglier and uglier in doing these for loops to go across and calculate the grid lines, calculate the columns going across, and how to do that for each. So this is getting messier and messier inside of this one component to do, right, a little bit of, right, here's a do loop to go across it. Okay. And it sure looks like it's outputting properly, so I'm not going to inspect any further into that. If I take a look, there's unit tests that go with this. They're inside my test project right here. So there's data list. We organize our tests by component name, and then we have we have individual Razor files that indicate each one of these different features that we're testing for. Now, for the purposes of organization, I might have taken these repeat columns features here, and I might have created a folder for repeat columns so that I could just have horizontal columns, blah, 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 and have those three. Or maybe even have a horizontal columns and a vertical columns child folder in there. But I think I want to see these moved into a repeat columns folder inside of it so that we get a little bit of nesting because they're similar features and we're running tests around those similar features instead of having them all at that one level. So that strikes me as just a organization thing. Nothing to really get too out of control about. I like how it specified, here's what I expect it to look like. So when you're reading the code, it's clear this is what I'm expecting and how I've arranged the interaction here. There was another mention up here that the shared sample objects, we have a widget object here that has very simple properties, and we just output these names. And he's just given it some names here, Gareth has, so that it's very clear what number item they are. That's fine. That works. So, simple widget list is just these 3 widgets, but you can now request a certain number of widgets and you get that output. That's great. That's great. So, I'm going to go find the, is there an overall? Yeah, let's write this. Here. Really like the new repeat columns tests. But can we put those 6 tests in a child folder of data list called Oh, what did I do? Oh, man. There we go. Called repeat columns. Since there are so many tests of the same set of features, this would help with organization. Really great stuff. But I am going to approve with that comment. So, and it has a little conflict here that needs to be resolved. So, I'll wait for some feedback from Gareth before we move forward there. The last thing that I want to look at, and we still have a little bit of work on the range validator to be done. Rope Blade, hello, welcome in. Spicy Condiment, I agree. I do love an ASCII diagram in comments. That is really cool to see. Our friend Mark Miller, who works on CodeRush, the add-in for Visual Studio, has a technique that CodeRush will use to actually embed an image inside your comments. So when you're running CodeRush with Visual Studio, you'll see that image overlaid in your source code. Really, really great feature. I try to use things, try and stay as stock Visual Studio as possible here. So I don't use CodeRush or ReSharper or any of those other features. I want to show as close to the base, out-of-the-box features of Visual Studio as you can get. Components of this nature are one place where logic belongs in... Polarin makes a nice point here. Where logic belongs in templates. Yes. Where we're doing this type of logic around how we iterate and what order we present things on screen. Polarin is spot on here. That logic of how you go across a collection, how you count, it does belong in a template. It isn't so much a business rule, but it is a user interface decision, and it should belong with the template in the decision. You're not wrong. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness. Friends. Imperial is here. Hello! It's so good to see you. How was you were playing WoW yesterday? Did you have a
flawless victory?
Was it? Anriel too. Hello. Welcome in. How you doing there, my friend? So good to see you. We were just reviewing some code that was shared by our friends Gareth and Kabazi here. And we're about to go back over and continue working on our tree control that we're building here live on stream as part of the Blazor components that we're deploying and making available for folks that have been using .NET technology, using the old ASP.NET Web Forms technology that's been around since 2002. DJ Vortex was doing some EF core work inside Blazor. Okay, that's pretty cool. DJ Vortex, would you mind if I share the voiceover that I recorded for you? Rope Blade, you're not wrong here. Let me put this up. Rope Blade says, such a fan of GitHub. Main complaint with GitHub is that the scroll to the side in changes when reviewing. You either have to highlight and drag or scroll. Yeah, it is kind of weird like that. I end up sizing my font so that I can do those types of things. I don't know of other ways to do that. But I do end up zooming my browser so I can see that a little bit. Vortex has said yes. Okay, friends. We have channel points here on stream, and I do all kinds of crazy things with channel points. You can give me a hard time. You can change up my editor here. I mean, seriously, trick me up here. Make it hard for me. Okay?
Finish him.
Okay, don't do that. We don't want to see a code fatality. But the highest thing that you can spend money on is, well, not that. And I need to put a background behind that. But change my font to Comic Sans. All right, Spicy Condiment, we will do that just for you in just a second. But the top level thing that you can do is you can request a voiceover, a special voiceover recorded just by me with whatever you would like. And this is what I recorded for our friend DJ Vortex.
Eat, sleep.
Hang on. Let's turn this up a little bit so you can actually hear it.
Eat, sleep, rave, repeat. You're in tune to
DJ Vortex on the old school rewinds. There you go. So I'm happy to do those for anybody that cashes in. I believe it's 25,000 of channel points, and we will get you set up with whatever it is that you'd like me to say. It does have to be family friendly. I do have a little bit of veto power over what I record for you, but I'm happy to record. I can put some sound effects to it. I can do the voice mod if you'd like, but always happy to help folks out with that. Let me get the music to code by playing again. All right. Can I do Comic Sans in Notepad? That's just wrong. Messy Coder. Hello. Messy Coder's another member of the Live Coders, just like Gareth Hubble here. Good to see you. Do you wish Microsoft would stop supporting IE11? It's happening. That's going away. You can't code in a widgets font or a Wingdings font. That doesn't work. One review approval. Yes. Updated that's the one I did, right? Okay. So, and another follow is that Arslan. Welcome in. And Dr. Haggis, thank you so much for the follow. Good to see you. So, they already did basically stop supporting it. Yes. It is only around for legacy purposes. But in the user interfaces, they're moving things off of it, and they're putting up bars that say migrate to Edge. And the new Edge, it supports everything. It'll even step down to IE11 if you need it. Thank you for the follow, Shahab Genji. Welcome in. Thanks so much for joining us. And we're getting closer and closer to our next giveaway. Every time this crosses a multiple of 100, so when we hit 9,600, I give away a sticker pack live here on stream. Edge is underappreciated. They've been notifying IE11 users to migrate to Edge for a long time, and it's continuing. And they're putting it inside the web pages. Hey, you should really try Edge. Microsoft Edge is our new supported and more important, the browser we're investing in, right? Like if I start Internet Explorer, right? There's Internet Explorer. And, right, so I'm going to MSN, right? No thanks. The websites, see, it should come up and say, you want to use Edge. And they're doing it more on the various Microsoft properties. Are you kidding? Where is it? You're going to make me a liar now? GitHub no longer supports this web browser. Learn more about the browsers we support. So, right. So, this is IE11, and you are seeing it is. I knew it was on GitHub. I'm surprised it's not on MSN and Microsoft.com. Azure Chromium is, yeah, Raventhorn, you're not wrong there. Let's see here. And, oh my goodness. Dark Repulsor says, prefer Edge over Chrome nowadays. I haven't quite gotten there. And I don't actually use Chrome, I use Firefox. So I'm kind of going back and forth a little bit. Raventhorn chimes in that Edge collections are amazing, better than bookmarks. I need to do that. This page renders... What? Renders best in Netscape Navigator. Oh my goodness. So, okay, I want to get back to, I wanted to talk about, there's an issue over here about this. Check this out. The table item style elements that we put inside of our code right now. So we had header style, we have footer style. You see how this is inside of the project? That's a pain in the neck to have to, instead of having header style directly inside of data list, you actually have to embed it inside this child content element. And we'd like to be able to remove that so that it can just be header style like this. So this is what we're trying to figure out now, and it sounds like Gareth is taking a look at this, and was mentioning it last night. Raventhorn just wants to let you know that their Prodigy service doesn't support Netscape. Sorry. Gareth, I understand. I understand this concern that Chromium is now becoming the only rendering engine in use. However, I think there's a place for an HTML5 standard and an HTML5 standard implementation. Now, that pair is pretty powerful. It's Chromium, and it's governed and owned by Google, and they have their own things that they're experimenting with and putting into it before HTML5. The World Wide Web Consortium verifies and reviews and adopts, means that it doesn't matter what they say. Who cares about HTML6 or the next version? It's what Google says goes. That I have a problem with. But we're already seeing that right now with the monopoly that Apple has on iPhones, because every browser on an iPhone is Safari. You cannot bring your own rendering engine onto it. Those vendor-specific bits, Hugo, yes, are a big problem. So, okay. So this is something that we want to affect in here, and like I said, this is Gareth Leachman is taking a look at that. So real happy to see the work there, and you can see up top all time the contributions. They'll be refreshed on the crawl there to include more contributions as we merge them in here. Really great stuff. Really love seeing it. So I'm kind of torn. We were working a little bit on the tree view control, and we were pulling together those features. But at the same time, I'm seeing more and more of the samples built here, and part of me wants to say, you know what, well, let's go deploy the samples and actually have the sample applications available somewhere. What do you think, chat room? Should I continue with... I didn't want to show that just yet. Hang on with that. Let me bring up that comment here in a second. So chat room, should I go continue working on the tree view, or should we do a deployment here? I think part of me says work on the tree view. Tell you what, I'm gonna run a quick poll. How's that sound? I'm already seeing a couple folks say tree view. All right, I'm not even gonna run the poll. I'm just gonna go right into the tree view then. Fantastic.
Vortex just
DJ Vortex.
6 months. Work on tree view.
All right.
Smile.
So we're gonna go over to the tree view. Nice. That's less of an issue. Very good. So I will minimize this, and we will turn on. We will turn on Comic Sans as requested by Spicy Condiment. So this is part of what you can do, how you can take control of things there, chat room, is you can make me change my font, you can make me change my theme here in Visual Studio, and challenge me. Make it more difficult for me to write code. That's okay. I'm gonna go back over, what did I change here? Oh, I took that bit out. That's fine. Git reset hard. And go back over to the other branch. You're not gonna... You make me sad. What is it? Remove item source. Right? Now I can do it. And hop over. Pizza! Peace_A_pizza just resubscribed for 9 months. Thank you so much for that resub. Let me make sure I have the latest update here. Good. And I could merge in that dev branch. Let's do that. Cool. So now I have everything from compare validator. I'll push that up. And we can continue working over here. Blazor, Mr. Magoo. Hello, hello. You have an old VB web forms project. Oh, I'm so sorry. So Niner, before I get into the code, and I'm holding off on that. What's it called? I'm holding off on the timer for Niner 9S asked, doing a study on people who got into programming, what would I say was the start of my programming interest? I even wrote a blog post about it. Back in the day, way back in the day, I was introduced into programming by my father. And it happened when we got a Commodore 64 at home. And it was an opportunity for me not just to play games, but to learn a little bit about BASIC. And that's me at 5-6 years old with a wonderful haircut. Mom, what were you doing with that haircut? With my dad, and we were playing Battleship at the time there, but he taught me BASIC. And it got me so interested with the Commodore 64 that I could take control, that I could make things happen on screen. It was simple. It wasn't very complex, but I had little books with basic programs in them, programs written in BASIC, and that was how I started programming, was getting in and just learning a little bit there. So, writing electronic engineering formulas on a Commodore 64 was Raven Thorne's startup. Look at that. Where is it? Oh my goodness. That's impressive. Well done. I did have an interest in punch cards, yes. DJ Vortex. Commodore VIC-20. Oh my goodness, yes. There's another throwback. The Good Idea. Liked VB4. Nice. Oh my goodness. Raiders!
Pixelogic Dev raided my stream with 40 views.
Oh my goodness. Pixelogic Dev, thank you for the raid. 40 on viewers come on in. Thank you so much for joining us. It's so good to see you, Raiders. Let me introduce myself. Wait. There we go. How's it going there, Raiders? My name's Jeff. We're writing code, talking about old technology right now. What were you up to, Pixelogic Dev? What was going on over there on your stream? Let us know there in the chat room. Thank you so much for joining us, Raiders. Happy to see you. And is it iPleek? I want to make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is actually a common question I get. Thank you for the follow. What are some good resources to get into coding today? You have a friend that's trying to get in, feeling lost in how to help because you went to school for related fields, kind of lost in terms of that skill gap. Well, for .NET, for the type of programming that I do typically here on stream, you can go to, not Foy. I put those hands on the wrong keys to start. I go to .NET and browse to learn here. And there's tutorials that'll get you the basics, get you started. .NET 101. What's involved? What does it mean to get started with that? Really great series of tutorials, videos that you can watch that'll teach you a little bit about .NET and the various things that we use to build here as well. Dev Chatter has some great stuff over there on his channel. Absolutely. Take care, Raven Thorne. Thanks so much for stopping by. It was great to see you today. Thank you so much. Bald Bearded Builder. Their first programming. VBA, Visual Basic for Applications, to automate. Excel in Access. Oh my goodness. And I Am Not Myself. That's Bobby Johnson. Bald Bearded Builder and I Am Not Myself. They're both members of the Live Coders team. Took 2 years of comp sci in high school, taught by a math teacher, rediscovered programming in the late 90s, started doing web development. Yeah, web development in the late 90s got me hooked as well. It is IP leak. All right. Like the website to show if your VPN is leaking. Yeah. All right. Let me get back into talking about our TreeView component here. So I'm over here. You mean it's been modified? It wasn't modified. Ignore. That's fine. All right. So I'm over here. I'm working on these tree elements right here, and we went through and we started getting our components working so that we could change out the image set that goes along with our components. So if I open up the www folder here in Explorer, right? Come here. There it is. I have all of these little icons, all of these little images that we use to decorate and make our tree view appear properly. Well, we're wiring them up so that it'll appropriately show in here. Now this shouldn't be Windows, this should be Windows Help, and that should work now. So that's inside of the nav menu down the side here, and that was just us testing. I'd really prefer this to be the default. Okay. So, hey Jean Valjean. Hello, hello. Kabazi asks, and I don't know the answer to this, but I'm going to put it up anyway. Is there a plan for Visual Studio pull request extension to support Azure DevOps Server? No idea. Don't know the answer to that one. I can follow up on that. Yes, we are on 15 minutes with Comic Sans today. So, oh, I don't want to talk about the marquee tag. Let's not do that. Okay. So, I think I have the image sets working properly, but if I go over and I use an image set that doesn't have, right, and I mean, I should probably write a test here for the tree view that shows that it does properly swap out the image set. That's probably a thing, right? If I were to add a folder here for image set, because there's a lot here we've got to inspect. And if I add a test for that, just to make sure that it does have the appropriate image set entries in it. Let's see. Let me copy one of the simple static nodes ones here into there. And let's not even call this simple. Let's call this default. Come on. Hey. Hey! I'd like to rename that thing. I guess not. Visual Studio, what are you doing? Oh my gosh. I broke it. Take care, Good Idea Company. Thank you so much for stopping in. Appreciate you joining us. Sneaky Panda, hello.
Oh my.
I broke Visual Studio. Can we rewind? Can we try this again? Can we back up? Come on. Let's go. No. If I say wait, is it gonna? If it doesn't come right back, I'm gonna kill it. Well, I mean, I'm gonna kill the application, right? It's not even in my apps list. There it is. 18. I don't have 18 of these. What are you doing? Stop that. Somebody tell the bad man to stop it. What do you mean it's unavailable? It's right where I left it. Try this again. Taskman has stopped responding. I know. Should be right here. What? Yes, remove it. Where is it? I don't want to... No, not open a local folder. Where's my solution?
Oh my.
I know. Oh, it's at the root now. That's where it is. cdev Blazor Web Forms Components. That's where it is now. Because I moved it. Make it a little bit easier to build. I've got a VS extension that someone multi-threaded. Now it's causing thready death. Yeah, you aren't kidding. All right, so I was over here inside my tests, and I was looking at TreeView image sets. And I didn't want to call this simple. I wanted to call this default. Right? Test Explorer's doing Test Explorer things. And we're still on Comic Sans for another 10 minutes here. Are you kidding? My goodness. All right, so I should be able to say image set, right? Equals. Now, there's a using statement that needs to go along with that. And it's going to be Blazor Web Forms Components, enums. You're not going to give it to me, are you? Am I going to get? I wanted to, right? I should be able to say TreeView image set so that down here I can say default. That should be a static, isn't it? Right? And that should work now. Yeah, I know, but it's. I'm trying, Kabazi.
Finish him.
Yeah, we killed it. We killed it good. Did I do something bad here? Where is it? Right. Image set. TreeView image set dot default. So using static Blazor Web Forms components enums. Yeah, I know you think it's unnecessary there, friend, but trust me, it is. I don't care about the anchors. I care about the images. I want to make sure the images show up. So I want to find all images. I just want to find all images. There are 4 nodes. 1, 2, 3, 4. But this one is nested inside of that one. This one is nested inside of that one. So there should be 1, 2, 3. There should be 3 images. I don't care about the tables. Robert's tables either. That's okay. And I'm not concerned about the... And I'm going to rename this to images. Right, it should be 3, and we should be able to check those. Let's run all the tests. There we go. Hope there's plans for Razor component autocomplete. It should have auto-completed for me up here. I don't know why it didn't, but it should have. And I'm curious as to why it didn't. Look at that, I broke it. I broke it. I'm just double checking my schedule today because I think we can go long. Oh yeah, we can go long today. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. Build errors. TreeView image set does not exist. Wanna bet? Enums. TreeView image set. Blazor Web Forms components enums TreeView image set. Blazor Web Forms components enums TreeView image set. Are you testing me? And it actually says it's not over here also. Well, wait a sec. This isn't these on item data bound. Doesn't exist in the current context. Should have rolled that back. Let me queue up your question there, Boom Boom. Let me come to that in a second. Ah, nuts. I think featured chat is... Ah, there it goes. There we go. Okay. That should be a thing, because we brought it over. It was one of the things that we merged here. Integer data types. Right, that data bound. Right, on item data bound. that's a thing. That's available. Right? Not even add. Yeah, you're not gonna let me do it. Okay. Git checkout dev. Yep, I know. There's all the stuff for footer style, but the data bound stuff should be in there. Right? So here I am in data list razor, right there on line 71. That's a thing. In base model binding component. If I go back, I bet you that merge dev didn't bring everything in. Yep, reload. Right, on item data bound is telling me that that's not there. It is. What does it pull off the git stash? Oh, git stash pop. Yep, thank you. I wonder why. Right, it let's take a look over here. Source, it's inside here, and it's on the model binding. Base model binding component. What did you do? Record a voiceover. Oh my goodness. Jean Valjean. I am happy to. Something funny you can use for your own dev stream. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out what a script should look like, and let's make that happen. Very happy to do that for you. Thank you for the redemption. Welcome in. Happy to take care of that for you. Where did Visual Studio go? Oh, it's over here. So, hang on. My base model binding component. Yeah, even though I merged dev, it's not here. Right? So, right, I mean, the whole block here of data binding events. Or did we move that somewhere else? Base data binding component. Oh, we did. We moved it over here. So, on data binding, on item data bound. This isn't here. Okay. Because I moved it as part of this one. All right. All right. So we'll try that again and see. While that's rebuilding, Boom Boom has a question for us. Should I use middleware to handle all my expected exceptions produced in controllers and keep track statistics on exceptions for which I don't yet have solutions, for the purposes of centralizing all the error messaging in a single place? I think that sounds like a good way to go, because you can very easily write a simple piece of middleware that'll handle a lot of that for you. We'll take care of this. And it's hiding behind Boom Boom's question there. So by using middleware to trap and handle it, that's the same way that things like Azure Application Insights do this, is they inject a little bit of middleware that does trap and handle errors. App Insights you can use without using Azure. And you can see the errors being logged inside of your Visual Studio. But you're welcome to grab the source code for that is available, but you can certainly drop something in and have it logged to your own database, so you can query through and analyze and figure out what you want to fix. All kinds of stuff that you can do there. I think it's a great approach. Add it in as one of the top steps inside of your pipeline in ASP.NET Core so that that error handler is triggered first, and anything that comes back to it, you log those error messages appropriately. It's a really good idea. Thank you for the question. DES doesn't drink coffee. That's okay. IH Developer. Hello, welcome in. Good to see you. The only real error you can make with exception handling is to silence the exception, says Stelzy. It's a very good point. Do something with those exceptions when you receive them. Something. Rethrow it. Log it. Handle it. Elma is a very good option as well. Yes. Pimpla check. Hello, hello. Okay. So that has things fixed. Now, the error that's being shown to us here is, well, rethrow it correctly. That's a very good point. Welcome in, I'm not going to pronounce that name. But thank you for joining. I appreciate the follow. So let me scroll. Where was I here? Oh, I have an error being reported. Default is a type, which is not valid in the given context. Right there. That's the end of the 15 minutes I promised for Comic Sans. I'll go a little bit longer here, and we'll turn it off because we had a couple of questions that came in and distracted us a little bit here. That image. Okay, so right, it doesn't like that. Really? Really? Try that again. Where was that? It's up here is where the test is. Not under samples. I don't want to look at samples right now. I want to look at test. This is what I get for closing and reopening my project so much. C17.
17R just resubscribed for 16 months. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, C17. My goodness, 16 months. Thank you so much for that support. That is tremendous, and we're going to make another donation to code.org. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your support today. Interesting. Why it doesn't like that, and image said it's blowing up on here as well. And it's, yeah, default is a type, not valid in the given context. Is that because we already have a using statement out here for enums? Right, what if we make this default X, right? And I go back over here, right? And I make this not S, X. Does that go away then? Right? Because I changed the name of it there. It should go away, right? Should totally go away. Big hype for the sub. Thank you so much. All right. Where's that? Well, I did. I changed that too. One more time. Did I hear about JetBrains font? I did. I did Pimpla check. And I installed it on one of my other machines. I don't have it on this one. Partial declarations of TreeView must not specify different base classes. Where the heck did that come from? Oh no. Base data binding component on my TreeView. Base data binding component. What? Let's rebuild. Get that cleaned up here. I changed the name of default in the enum. Look at that. Rebuild all succeeded. So that worked. So the unit test should run now. Should run properly now. Right? Right? Come on now.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
I do, actually. Why is it running those? Those aren't being referenced by my test project. Why is it referencing those? And that worked just fine with the using static up there. I wonder. So is there... Am I running into a scenario inside here? Can I F12 from there? Nope, can't do it. Am I running into a scenario where I have a... let me F2 into this and get rid of that. Do I have a imports that's including the enums? Blazor Web Forms components enums. No, they're not being included there. Okay. So, right? And if I look at one of these other ones, no. So I don't actually have, let me go back up here, and it was inside the nav, right? Not the web forms. Right, it was inside the shared nav menu. Yeah. TreeView image set. I wonder... what if... I wonder if it's... let's take a look back at the enums down here. Right, I'm clearly hitting an issue here where I've got the same thing kind of colliding. Default TreeView image set is the name of it, so it's not default there. But it should definitely hit. It should grab it and use it. You wish you could code like that? Thinking out loud says, is it T-Sigs? T-Sigs? Here's the thing, right? Talking it through and talking through the entire problem helps me to kind of visualize what's going on. So that's kind of what I'm going through here. I think what I'm seeing... Let me turn off the user badges. And that'll help with the display here. So it still doesn't like that default here. Right? I mean, technically I don't need it. But it doesn't like the keyword default. If I made it underscore default... Right. Does that work? Yeah, it's a reserved name. It definitely is a well, and it's typically the lowercase default is the reserved name, not the uppercase D in default. It's still. Now what are we hitting? After Blazor server side nav menu, that's fine. So if I do that. Yeah, and that's quite frankly a little bit of what I do here is I'm explaining the issue and it helps me visualize what the difference is here. The font that I'm using here, this is well, that's Comic Sans. This is I was requested to do this for a channel points redemption here. So I'm going to mark that complete. There we go. So now I've got my tests properly running and I've got a bunch that are failing here. Let me go back over and change my font back to something a little more sane. There we go. I typically use Cascadia code. But folks like to change my font on me, make it a little bit trickier for me to do things. Let me see where those errors are. What do we got here? What did we break? As we've been working through things. List view image set static nodes. Really? Oh my goodness. Wait a sec. Eagle. Is it putting in the name of... It's putting the name of the method. Oh my gosh, Eagle. That is awesome. Oh, I really like that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You just made my day.
This is my fight song.
Because it tells me exactly the name of the test that failed over here. Really, really cool to see that now. But let me see, can I click through to the method here that's failing? What did I do here? And this is the alternating template. The type, list view, declares more than one parameter matching the name on item data bound. The list view. Okay, so this looks like a problem with the list view component, with how I move those things around. So let's go take a look at that. Base model binding component on item data bound of this type. I think we need to do a public new here, and it'll make that go away. Let's see, if I rerun the 6 list views, these should clear up. Right? Or not. What did we do? The type list view declares more than one parameter matching the name on item data bound. I removed the other one. Didn't you see that? Base model binding component has base data binding component. Oh. Which has it way down here. Well. Alright. So we are doubled up there. If I get rid of that and run. Nah, it's not a clean build issue. It's I do have it double named. Double declared. That should get rid of those 6. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And we're going to need to address that because that's not the right signature that should be down there. The Twitch Librarian, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you tuning in. So now I've got these tests that I broke. And the one is image set. The other one here is static nodes. And the error that's being reported here, look at that, it's even got the name of the test there. Oh, that's awesome. It's awesome. Okay. Is the expected attribute of this source and that source are different. Right. Because now instead of it being called node collapsed, it's called default expand. So let's see. Can I go to that? Can I go to that? Go to that test? No. That's okay. So we'll go over here because the name of the images changed. Oh, wait a sec. Or maybe it fixed. It fixed. John Skeet. Yeah, it's a little known fact here, friends. I just make sure you know. John Skeet can stop an infinite loop just by thinking about it. There it is. All stopped. He can do this. It's amazing. Don't mess with the John Skeet. It was only 2 images that were made. Okay. I guess that's right. If I look at here, so I'm going to have a top node that has an arrow next to it to collapse. This one has a node to collapse because it has one inside of it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so there should only be 2. So I got my number wrong there. 2. And I should be able to look at those images and see they should be the expanded images as well. So, right? I should be able to say images 0 dot. Oh my goodness.
Jobin for just resubscribed for 5 months.
Thank you so much for the resub. Job in PA, thank you very, very much. 5 months, and we'll make another donation to code.org. Really cool stuff. Thank you very, very much. I'm going to say get attribute, right, source, and it should be, right, default expanded.gif. Is that what it should be? Default expand.gif. They both should be that. Make sure we get the same the same image output there. Yeah, Jean Valjean, drop me a whisper of what you'd like me to some thoughts of what you'd like me to do for your voiceover, and I'm happy to do it. And I can even do it here on stream if you like, since I'm home, since I'm in town at the stately Fritz studio. Well, that's not right. Can I say should end with? Can I say should be, no, I can't say it. Should contain, what else can I do with should be? No. String compare should. No. Okay, this is what it should be here, and it is collapse. Rats. Right, because the one that is default collapse is actually the one that's expanded, and you're going to click it to collapse. So here's what, actually, let's do this. Collapse image equals, and I'll just paste that in there. And I'll just say should be, done. Rerun that. Let's see what we get here. And now I'll have a test to make sure that it's showing properly for the default. And I think I do kind of need to put that underscore in front of it. Just because it, sure, go ahead, run that static node one again. Just because I am going to get that weird error. What do you mean failed? Show me what went wrong. Yeah, it's that same thing. And it's default expand here. So let me zoom in on that. Right, and this is line 45 right there. Get fragment before image, which is this. Rid of that. There we go. And the other one, right, this should be expand. Let's see if that goes. Should you spend your Fritz bits on Vim now? You can. It'd be very mean if you did, but you can. Still didn't hit it. Oh, I've got him flip-flopped. There we go. Try that one more time. How's it going, Nile Crack? Good to see you. There we go. All right. Rerun all the tests now that I've got a partial completion there. Jean Valjean, for your voiceover, can I lean into the Les Mis connection there? Right? The way that they say Jean Valjean's name in this, the way they sing his name in the musical. Is there something there that I can lean into? Isn't John Skeet? Oh my goodness, look at this. Stelzy's got a very good point here. John Skeet is what would happen if Chuck Norris wrote software. So, all right, cool. All my tests ran properly. Now we want to actually check that it handles. Right now, we've got to take a look at some of these other image sets here, right? So that's just looking at the default, which big deal. Come here, take that. I'm gonna. Let's make sure that it handles when we change over to something that does also have the expand collapse arrows. So I'm going to copy paste default. And let's call this has expand collapse. Make sure that it does that correctly. Now another one of the image sets that also has expand collapse is arrows. So I'm going to change this one to, instead of using default, to use arrows. And I expect to see two of them here, right? Arrows also has a no expand. Maybe this might not be a good one. MSDN has a no expand as well. Windows Help has a no expand. Default just has, well, they all have a no expand, don't they? Okay. So maybe I've got a problem there that I need to fix too. That it should have 3. And if we're doing arrows, this should be arrows. And let's see what it... Right, this should come up and actually blowed up on us. Show me the ones that you didn't. Wait a sec. Right. Build. Any Blazor newbie stream anytime soon? Asks is that Baherder? It's a good idea. We should. Let me see about scheduling one coming up. So Razor Test Runner. Let me see about getting one together. It's a valid request. I'm going to take that, and we also have the ASP.NET 3.1 workshop that we want to rerun. Let me see what I can do to get those happening here. All right, so let me run this test, and let's see what we get. I suspect it's going to fail. Oh, yeah. Right. Images count should be 3, but was 2. Well, because we're not handling the no expand images yet. Sushinator, hello. 500 followers from a workshop. No, we're less than 500 from a 12-hour party. A little festival that we'll do with all kinds of guests joining. We're going to do workshops besides that, anyway. About to start a new project going for Blazor, but haven't even made it through a single intro video. Oh, no. This should be 3, I think. Because we need to handle no expand. And no expand, there is a default no expand. See it there? So let's take a look back at how before WebForms does this, how the WebForms project does this for the tree view, and go from there. Figure this out. So I'm in content samples. No, don't. Where is it? There we go. Tree view, default. Thank you. And if I choose default here, let's see what that looks like. I want to set this back as the startup project. Let's see what this looks like. And see if there is a no expand image that's being output there. Because something's not feeling quite right. A lot of... you're right, Dark Repulsor. While we're waiting for this to pop up. Dark Repulsor makes a very good point here. A lot of videos you see out there for Blazor are still targeting preview versions, older versions. I do have workshop content that I can show. Yeah, get a stash of coffee. You're going to need it. And you can get a stash of Madrina's coffee. That'll help with that. Does not from its... Cannot create... What? Image set. Oh my gosh, default isn't even in the list. Whoa. So you can't say that. And if I refresh. Okay. We're starting to see something here. Now I don't want to be in that view. No. Really, you don't show me default anywhere? Oh, you know what? The image is all buried like this. See it? So let's find all the image tags. Here we are. Now let me take a look at, go away, at reloading this. No, reload again. Right? See these? The web resource? This is it loading. It is. It's loading an empty for the no expand. The 2020 GIF there, that's the no expand deal. And it loaded it up. So, I think we should be outputting the no expand version of these. Let's see. All right. So let me go back to tree node, because that's where we're deciding what images to put to output there. Tree node razor, there it is. So if right here it is, look at this. Div style. See that? See that chalupa there? That's wrong. Not the node image, but the no expand image. So let's do this. Let's call this no expand image. And we'll calculate it right up front here. Is going to be, yeah, there it is. No expand. Well, that should be node image anyway, right? If it parent tree view image set, well, no. So down here, right? If there isn't a parent, yeah, okay. That's if there's an image, but if there's a node image here, I think it's this one. If child content does not equal null, yeah, it's this one here is where it's outputting the node image. So, do I have that div or don't I? Oh man, I gotta restart that other one so I can take a look at that again. Friends don't let friends write source code. Something like that. What do we got? Let's take a look at this again. Okay. Tree view. There it is. I think. So if we change this, let me go back over. Which one is it? Oh man, it's going to be the default ASPX one that I have open here, isn't it? This one. So if I change this to image set equals, and like Windows Help was one of the ones that has these values. So let me refresh that now. Refresh. Hello? You make me sad. Alright, fine. Arrows. Still didn't show it. I should be able to change the ASPX and pick up the new images. What did I do? I've angered it. I've angered it, friends. Profound. Nah, it shouldn't be that profound. It should just work. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Show me the thing. And TreeView. It's still not showing me the arrows. Right? Is it because show grid lines is on? Does showing, yeah, I think showing the grid lines you can only do in default mode. So one maybe overrides the other. Let's take a note on that. No, I didn't want you. Show grid lines forces the default image set. Okay. But I'm clearly getting the no expands happening here. It's going to show me the word arrow? No. Alright, so let's take a look at the source and navigate around this a little bit. So, for the one that doesn't, right? The ones that don't have anything inside of them, that image is just inside the TD. So if I go back over to my tree node, here, if it's the default, we get, I'll put that no image and be done with it. I think I should do that way. I think that's going to be the way to go. Right, and it's image source and it's all that junk with no alt tag. The alt is empty there. It's just the URL. Okay. So I'll change this to image source equals, and I'm not going to have anything here because it's a, right, it's the no expand image is what I'm showing. No expand image. All right. So now let me see what that looks like in the Blazor server-side version. And take a look at that. Suggestion for a Fritzbot web scraper: replace the HTML quotes and apostrophes to avoid the quote and improve readability. Not bad. Yeah. Any advice for someone getting started into web development? Says Bootstrap. Some experience with game development using C# and Unity 3D. Not paying the bills. Web development is actually a heck of a lot easier than Unity 3D because all you're doing is generating text. You're generating text that's being parsed by the browser and being painted on screen. These look like they're working properly. Good. So if you can generate and manipulate text, really easy to do. ASP.NET is very easy to get started with. It's very there's two different models of ASP.NET Core you can get involved with. There's page first development that uses a technology called Razor Pages, where you mix and match your Razor with HTML tags. Make sure you have HTML down first. If you're getting into web development, learn HTML first. Then start folding in a little bit of JavaScript for the manipulation of things you want to do inside the browser. Yes, I said JavaScript. The horses, you can hear them in the barn out back there. They love that programming language. And every time I say it, for some reason, they get upset. Where was I? But ASP.NET Core will give you a tremendous capability with the Razor templating engine. You see me using it here inside of the components that I'm building for Blazor. And Blazor is another step beyond ASP.NET so that you can build components that are reusable across different versions of it. So take a look at some of those tutorials that are over on .net and click the Learn tab in there, and it'll get you there. So let me try changing the image set here for the tree view, right? I should be able to, there's, right, forcing an image here. I want to be able to change the image set and see what it looks like. So let's add another sample in here that uses the arrows image set. So we can verify and see exactly what it looks like and then start building. I said and then. We can build some tests that show and expose and pin that functionality to ensure that it behaves the way we want it to. So inside my Blazor server side here, I have control samples, and I'm going to go down to my tree view, and there is indexes listed here. I'm going to copy and paste that, and I'm going to call this arrows images. Okay, and this version I can change where it listens here, and I'll do that. And I'll change the tree view here. I'll say image set equals arrows. I need to, it's gonna, yep. I need to add a using static for that. Blazor web forms components, enums, tree view image set. And that should go away. And I need to add that to my navigation down here. So I'll look for the tree view control. I see some messages there in chat. I'll come back to you in just a minute. And I will add one here called arrows. Yeah, arrows image set. Right? And it's just that on the end. Like so. Let me rerun. We'll take a look at that in the chat room. Ko Hamid asks, that's not right. That's not right. That's the wrong one. There it is. What am I doing? Is this a toolkit for Blazor? This is a series of components that are designed to make developing and working with Blazor for web forms developers as similar as possible to their existing markup. Yep, it's part of a shim. Hugo puts it very nicely there. So it's a little bit of a shim that makes it look and feel a little bit better. There we go. There's Hugo's message. And Bootstrap, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for asking. So I'm not getting the extra arrows in here plotted properly for that. So I've definitely got an issue with how it's deciding to output, or is it trying to output the no image for those and not getting there. Let's take a look. See here. I want these elements. That's it. Elements. Right here. Content Fritz Blazor Web Forms components tree view default no expand GIF. Should have been there. That should have been in there. Dub root. Tree view. Default no expand GIF. There it is. Oh my good lord! Domination time. Welcome on in, 93 Raiders. Ho Nelly. Welcome in, Raiders. My name's Jeff. We're writing a little .NET code with Blazor today. Oh my goodness, Raiders, come on in. Welcome in. Join us over here. Thank you so much for the raid. Domination. Woo! 93 Raiders coming in. That is amazing. We're working on, this is a series of Blazor components that we're building here that help make Blazor a little bit easier for folks who used to use ASP.NET Web Forms. Make those components that they were using pretty compatible, Markdown-wise, with Blazor, so they can reuse some of that. Thank you, Domination Time. Thank you so much. Crossing fingers for the panel. Oh yes, we're working on a panel for TwitchCon EU. Thank you so much for the raid. And take care. Have a good afternoon. Squibbykins. Hello, hello. Let me say hello to some of our new friends. Thanos1423. Who else is here? Oh, my goodness. I am Hadriel. Sushi Fox. Hello, hello. Is that Puggy? Welcome in. Hello. Is that correct under foo? We'll take a look at that in a second here. Yeah, what were you learning over on Tomination's time? Tomination Time's stream. Let us know. Really great stuff. I'm going to put the music back on. This is Music to Code by from our friend Mr. Carl Franklin. It's designed, it's scientifically engineered to get you in the flow, get you in the groove, so that whatever task it is you're working on, you can focus on and get stuff done. And this song is called Green. You can get your copy. There you go. Hugo's helping us out with the music command in the chat room. 5 more of these raids and I'll hit the follower goal. Well, if they all follow, sure. Let's see. You're working on learning how to what? You're learning to code and so happy that we came over here. Well, thank you, Sushi Fox. And all questions, AMA is wide open here. And we're hoping to help folks out and learn and write some code together here as well. Sushinator asks, that's a very good question here. Let me put this up. Sushinator asks, wondering what I expect from TwitchCon EU. Oh, wondering what Sushinator should expect if they choose to attend. What are my personal most fun parts besides streaming? Oh my goodness. And thank you for the follow, Color Typhoon. Appreciate that. So for TwitchCon EU, I look at it for more networking. It's more meeting other streamers, more catching up with folks, learning what vendors in the area are doing for streamers, different things that are going to help make my streaming experience better. The connection also with the folks who run Twitch, the Twitch staff, is tremendous. Being able to talk to them about what your concerns are, being able to show them how things are working, not working for you, show them some innovative things and get their feedback is tremendous to be able to have that hands-on experience interacting with them. Personally, I'm going to be hosting a meetup for all of our Live Coders friends that make it to Amsterdam. All the folks on the Live Coders team, they're going to be invited to an event while we're there in town. I've also got some other meetings I'm going to have with customers earlier in the week at TwitchCon, and that's a Microsoft thing. That's my job thing as part of going to the Netherlands. But I also want to see some sessions where folks are talking about how they're improving things for their communities, how they're learning and doing cool new things with their communities. And another big thing that I'm interested in, Tomination Time and I we have a panel submitted to talk about what it means to be a parent. And a parent, have children, and be a streamer. So sharing that knowledge, that experience, is something that's very important to me, and why I see myself not just as an attendee at these events, but also a resource that can share some of that knowledge with folks. Thank you for the shout out to Tomination Time. Very cool there. Brave Cobra says include Brave Cobra even though he's not yet part of the team. We'll absolutely talk about having some other folks in, because I think it's going to be a slightly smaller group than the group we had in San Diego. So, thank you for the follow, Sneaky Bish. Welcome in. Hello. So, what I'm running into here, when I look at this, so this component that we're outputting, it's trying to put content. Right, this is the URL that it's trying to write, and it's default no expand. Well, that's kind of right. It is a no expand, but it's the wrong theme that it output. So let me go back over to my unit test here, and when I write code, I write tests that will run faster than me having to browse to it so I can look and see, well, did it output these things properly? So let's do this. Let's modify my test here to make sure that it outputs correctly what I expect. So it's rerunning, it's building my software here, and my little test explorer here in Visual Studio 2019 is going to execute and tell me what I broke, what I didn't break, and we'll be able to fix this. Little Panda! Hello, welcome in. There we go. So, yeah, it's finding now all of my images here. And this is actually a different one. This isn't my because now I have images, right? Has, expand, collapse. Where did I go? Go back to my list of tests here. Has, expand, collapse dot first test. What? Where is that? That's not this. Line 56. Oh, okay. So now it should be four images because it has, but right, it shouldn't. One of those should be the arrows no expand. So here's my list of images, right? So I have arrows collapse, arrows expand, arrows no expand. And that's the one inside of, right? And you see it kind of here inside of the tree view inside of Visual Studio, right? There's the expand. Hey, click this and expand. Collapse. Click this arrow and it'll turn back up and collapse. And then the no expand is the one that doesn't have anything here. But in the default configuration here, no expand has it's an empty arrow that it shows. So I think, right, I'll fix that one. Since there's four of these, I'm gonna cheat and copy and paste this, and let's see if we can get it to fail and which one it fails on, and we'll force it to the appropriate correct GIF, and then we'll go back and fix it. Does that make sense? Follow along with me, chat room. I think we've got this. Okay?
And you blow it!
No, I didn't blow it. I think we've got this. I really do. Images 2 should be the no expand. Okay, so images 2. So let's call this the no expand image, right? And this should be, when we look at the name here, thank you for the follow. I'll check out your name in just a second and make sure that I welcome you in. I want to make sure I welcome everybody in to the stream. So now, that's what I actually want it to be. Rerun that test again so that it is failing correctly, and we can go back and fix the issue. Thank you for the follow. Is that Recovery? Welcome on in. It's great to see you. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room, Recovery. Pew 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 rawr says, I wish I had the patience for coding. No, you don't need to be patient to code. So here we go. This one should be arrow. Okay. What? Oh, I forgot to copy that down. My bad. There we go. You don't need patience. Right, I mean, look at how impatient I am. I'm just forcing these things to run and test and go back and forth here. Should be able to get through this a little bit quicker. There we go. Now it's properly showing that it's got the wrong one here. Yeah, Phoenix, you're right. Kiki Loa, welcome on in. I appreciate the follow. We're getting closer and closer to our next follower milestone. We hit 9,600. I'll give away another set of stickers here live on stream. When we hit 10,000, we're going to have a 12-hour stream live with all kinds of guests talking about all kinds of great stuff. Just a festival of talking about technology. And we are going to schedule a couple workshops for ASP.NET Core and Blazor here live on stream. Marcus, you are absolutely correct. What you really need is patience. Pew, pew, pew. Oh my goodness. That's... You rage quit on just Hello World. Let's talk. I think we can get you past that. We can definitely make that work for you. There's something we can absolutely do to make sure that you can be successful as a developer, because I think I'm very much of the opinion that everybody can be a developer if you just learn how to use the tools a little bit. You take those first steps that help you succeed. I think there's a great opportunity for you to try it out and figure out if it works for you. All right, so I need to fix this so instead of it being default no expand, it should be whatever your theme is no expand. So let me go back to my tree node over here, and I just hard-coded default no expand. I need to actually grab that image set, this part right here, right? That's a thing. So let me do this. I think I need to test for it. So I'm going to set up, this is called a ternary operator. If we do have collapse images inside of our image set, that's what this is doing. It's saying I have collapse image sets. So if we... Wait. If is null or empty. If it's not... Well, if it is null or empty, then we'll just output that. Otherwise, it's not just going to be image location, but it's going to be image location and the name of our image set. Right. So... Where is it? So what's the... How do I get the name of the image set? I wrote this somewhere. I wrote a thing. Here we go. No expand. Oh, I can just put no expand. Right? I can just... I have to put image location in front of it. Right? But I can do... Get rid of this. And make this... So parent tree view is a reference from the individual tree node to the containing tree view. And I'm going to grab the image set object and grab the no expand. That should work. That should be the right thing now. So now I can just rerun the test instead of having to recompile, rerun, browse to the website, hit the right page, take a look, does it show the right thing? I can just hit this. And it should show me that this is properly outputting the arrows theme for my test. And I'm wrong. Well, no, I'm not. Now it's over onto images 3. And images 3... images 3. Check this out. Recovery. I'll show you that in just a second. That's a really good question. Really good question, recovery. And I absolutely want to answer that. Give me 1 second here. I'm happy to come back to it. It's not that one. Where's my test? Where'd my test go? This one. The third one doesn't have any content to it. So this one was the second one. This one's the third one. That should also be the no expand image as well. And I'll rerun that breaking test, and we should see that fix in just a second here. The question that recovery has, and it's a very good question here, is what's that Razor test runner? Some kind of automatic test that I made? No. Actually, this is a test library, a testing tool that a friend who was a guest on the stream 2 weeks ago, a gentleman named Eagle Hansen, wrote that allows you to write tests against Blazor components and build and execute them here. So I'm going to run so we can take a look at the full rendered application here. While that's starting up, let me show you back on the project over here, and you can get to the project. There is a reference here. I think it's in the contributing. It's in the contributing doc. Using the Razor Components testing library. Here it is. So this is a testing library that you can use to verify that your components build and function properly. Really great stuff. And if you're testing and you're working with Razor, I would encourage you to check this out. Tell you what, I'm not even going to... Let me drop the link in the chat room for you there, Recovery, in case you want to click through and do a little bit more research on your own. So there's my contributing, and yeah, there we go. Good. All right, so here's our after Blazor server side, right? I rebuilt the project. Let me take a look at the tree view, and that arrows image set. Now it looks right. That's what I'm expecting it to do. Good. So that also tells me that for some of the other image sets that don't, right? So if I go back to arrow images, right? This was, right? So image set arrows. So now if I change that to Windows help, what does it look like? Right, so I'll save that. This will refresh because I'm running Blazor server side and it's on IIS. So it'll refresh here and I can take a look. I'll force the refresh and see what the browser has for us. That looks correct now. Look at that. Okay, all right. I'm feeling it now. The last one that I want to test and see just how broken it is one of the bulleted lists. These don't have the expand collapse capabilities. So what does this have when we click into it? Right, so it's going to it's recompiling, it's going to refresh, and it just looks wrong, right? That's not right. That's not right. Okay, so we've got some next tests to figure out what happens with the bulleted list feature when we're in the tree view. Now, let me take a look at the clock. We're about half an hour over when I would normally end, and there's a lot of folks still hanging out here. We can definitely continue. I don't want to go too much further. Let me see what's going on here. Yeah. I think we're okay. What happened here? All right, there we go. All right, moving on. I have. Oh, you like the hat? That's yeah, that's a custom Visual Studio logo hat that I myself made. One second. Mrs. C# Fritz with a question. All right. Let's see. What's next? Yeah, we're good. So I want to look at the bulleted list. I want to take a look at the bullets and how they're outputting, and let's tune those appropriately. I think we're in good shape to take a shot at that real quick. Maybe we can finish that in about a half hour here. So the bulleted version of this, go back to here, and where'd it go? All right. So image set, we'll change this to one of the bulleted lists. I'm just going to use the default one here because they all look the same. They just slightly different icons. So start new instance. And hey, Genius Gaming TV. How's it going, Jay? Good to see you. One of our friends. I'm hanging out over there on the PH16 channels. Let's see. So I'm going to go back into my tree view here. Let's see what it looks like now with that bulleted image list on this. Okay. Ooh. Friends. Wait a sec. It puts the default image set on if it doesn't have it. So if I change this to bulleted list 2, they're still there, right? If I do, I think events, it just adds images in front of it. Ah, okay. The plot thickens. We can do this. So if it doesn't have expand collapse explicitly defined, it'll roll over and use the default versions. I think we can do this. What's on the coding menu? So Jay, what we're working on here, this is ASP. This is old ASP.NET web forms, and we have these controls like a tree view here, and what we're doing is we're building some Blazor components that do the exact same thing, and along the way we're learning more about the Blazor user interface framework, and we're also building some components that folks are going to be able to use. So thinking this through, we have a bunch of these image sets, right? We have this image set, and I've loaded all the images from ASP.NET Web Forms into a folder here. Look at all these little bullets. that are available for different things. So if it doesn't have images, I'm calling this format file name to say, well, here's how to specify the file name. Well, if it doesn't, I feel like I should have another one here that says format default file name. So let me put that in here, right? The kind of, or yeah, let's do that. That's easy enough. And I can change this to get rid of that, and I can make this default, right? So if instead of it being empty down here, I can make it format default file name collapse, right? And if I update these, right? So now this is expand and no expand. Well, now I should get the defaults if it isn't specified. Right? When you look at my list of these, right, it's specified whether or not they have the collapse capabilities here. So it should default to some of these and paint them on the screen for me with the defaults automatically, because it doesn't have it. So I'm going to scroll back down. I'm going to set up another test, but this time I'm going to test with I'll test with that same bulleted list that we had before that should show the defaults instead. So let me go to, where'd my test project go? Test, static nodes, image set. Yeah. This one. And I will say this is, let's call this no collapse, because we're taking a look at the image set here. Come on. And this time, instead of arrows, right, we'll do bulleted list. Scroll down here, and these should be for those. It should be default. Let's add a little note up here. Image sets that don't have an expand collapse image set, they don't have expand collapse images, should show the default images. There we go. All right. And I will rebuild this. It'll pick up that new test, and I'll see it here in my test explorer so I can run it. And you are spot on, my friend. I'm recreating the old ASP.NET and just the markup as a Blazor set of components. You got it. This way, you can go forward, hopefully copy your markup, and it just works. Well, with a little bit of changes, it will give you the same HTML, the same rendering, but in Blazor. That worked. Look at that. It updated, and it's showing me that it did output the appropriate images. So let me go back up here. Let me go to my TreeView sample up here, and let's make this I'll create another one here. Instead of calling it that, I'll call this bullet images. And we'll change this to bullet images. Right, there we go. And the image set is bulleted list. I'm going to change this one over here back to arrows. Good. And I'll add it back into my navigation here. So we have the arrows image set, and we'll add one more here for bullets. There we go. And this becomes bullet images, right? Restart it and see what it does. Wookiee Slayer! Hello, hello. It just works. And it's because it just works. Maybe. A little bit. Let's take a look. Tree view. Bullets image set. So it is showing the appropriate expand collapse, right? and the arrows that's showing the appropriate ones. I need to now get the images, because there's images that go with it appearing next to it. I think we've already got a way to do this. So, let's do this. Let's hit this, because I think we can hammer this little bit out really quickly. I'm going to close that down. And that was Edge with Chromium there. It's really been good for us. So I'm going to leave bulleted images up here so I can refer back to it. But if it had an image, we should be able to to plug it in, because we already have image capabilities. Well, those are the expand images, right? There it is, image URL. So if there isn't an image URL, we can pick it out of our list. I think we've got something here. All right. Let me take a look back at chat room. Jay, very good question. So, what is Blazor? So, Blazor is a couple different things. Blazor is a user interface. I can't find it. Blazor is a user interface framework that you can use to build web, now mobile as well, but web applications using C# and HTML. That framework is built based on components, and you can have components that are made of other components that are placed on a page. Same thing with mobile as well. And there's details on the ASP.NET blog just released yesterday about more experiments on the mobile version of this. But we can write HTML and interweave all of our C#, and these components can then be rendered on server side, and you deliver HTML then to a browser. Or you can compile them into WebAssembly and have them run natively inside of the browser. So it'll deliver a DLL, and that DLL gets opened up and managed inside of everybody's browser. Now it works in everybody's browser because WebAssembly is a technology that was part of the HTML5 specification. And thanks to our friends Spectre and Meltdown, those processor flaws forced everybody to update their operating systems, everybody to update their browsers, so that everybody got the latest version of HTML5, which includes support for WebAssembly. So we're targeting an HTML standard with the output of this code, and you can download it and run it client-side in the browser. Really neat technology that anybody can use. Let me take a look. There's a couple more comments here in the chat room. K.O. Hamid says, what's my opinion about Blazor not being adopted by the community? It's still early. To say something hasn't been adopted when it's only been around for a year and WebAssembly isn't even in finished version yet, you're putting the cart before the horse. Angular took 4 or 5 years before the community picked up on it. So nothing is an overnight success that's an overnight success. That doesn't work that way. Fact of the matter is, the folks that are going to pick up and use Blazor are going to be primarily .NET developers, because it uses and encourages their favorite language. You're not going to see somebody who's doing Rust suddenly go, oh my gosh, I need to use Blazor. That's not what's going to happen. But the flexibility that .NET developers then have to be able to build and compile and run applications with Blazor that runs on Windows, Mac, or Linux desktop through the web window experimental technology that's being researched by the .NET team. Mobile applications through the new mobile bindings that the .NET team is exploring. There's a lot of possibilities there, and we're right at the beginning. Let's give feedback. Let's push in the direction that we want this to go if this is something that interests you, if you're excited about C# development, if this is going to make your job easier, if we can make some of these things smaller, better, faster, let's give that feedback to the .NET team so they can do that. Engstrom Jimmy is running Blazor in production, and he says it's amazing. There you go. There's some good feedback. And let's see, Jay, where'd it go? There it is. Let me make sure I hit on Jay's comment here. It's a modular framework builder that uses C# as core. So could this benefit loading and render times, SEO stuff? What you'll see from Blazor server side, it will benefit SEO. The stuff that runs with WebAssembly does not benefit SEO because the search engines don't actually execute WebAssembly code. It's native code. They don't know how to execute it yet. Coming in from the Microsoft 365 Dev Day, Curious Drive, welcome in. Hello, hello. Yeah, Webface has some great success with Blazor front ends. Good. Dark Repulsor says that the first preview is being pushed to be more public. Yeah, sure. That can certainly happen. So it's something that, like I said, is very, very early on. Hugo, you're just a little bit off. Blazor server side was released as part of .NET Core 3, and with .NET Conf, and that was in September, not November. So we've got a little bit more, history with server side of being RTM available, and so I mean, looking at something and uptake across the winter holidays there in December, forget it. But since Blazor server side is in .NET Core 3.1, that means that it's also available now as part of a long-term servicing release. So it'll be around for a long time. Oh my gosh, Jay. Well, we should talk, my friend. If this has piqued your interest, I'm happy to get on a phone call with you and talk through this a little bit. There's definitely a lot more happening here. Curious Drive, looking at that Microsoft 365 event that's going on. The dual screen demos are awesome. Yeah, there's stuff that I want to do with that when that gets ready. Oh yeah, yes. All right, let me get back in here. So the images that are appearing here, right, for the tooltip and that. So you can specify an image for a node in the tree. That's a feature that you can specify separately. If there isn't one specified, and if our image set does have nodes specified, we should use that instead. Dual screen demos aren't so interesting for you, Janesco. As somebody who's looking at 3 screens here, I would love to have that on my mobile device. It would be so cool. All right, let me think. Let's think. Think. So image URL, this is a property over here. It's a parameter that's being passed in that you can get or set. But if it's not set, if it's not specified, we should get it out of the image set if there is one specified. Oh, this is interesting. All right, so let's make this a little bit more than just a get set here. Image URL. Okay. So I'm gonna open this up so I can put the business logic of that override capability right here. So get, I'm going to say, well, let's do this. Set, that's really easy. The private image URL equals the value that was specified. Get, we'll say, return string is, if it is null or empty, the image URL. Then, let's turn this around. If it isn't null or empty, then we're going to return the image URL. If it is null or empty, let's look at the image set and see if there is an image for this node, which means I need to figure out there's 3 types of images. If we look at the bulleted list, there's the root, the leaf, and the parent. Root, leaf, parent. Root, leaf, parent. So we need to choose those appropriately. it's me. Who? Me? You? How's it going, the DK Bay? Welcome in. Dark Repulsor, I agree. That's my next phone. Surface Neo. I don't work on the Surface team. I don't work in Windows hardware. I don't work in those departments. I work on .NET. I work on Visual Studio. But that Surface Neo got my attention. There's definitely something to that. It's Android with alterations, but Android's open source. Anybody can alter it, and lots of people are. So why not? All right, so parent, right? Where was I? Parent leaf root. Parent leaf root. Parent leaf root. Okay, so it's a leaf if it doesn't have children, right? And we already have something here that says if there's children. And this is the root. If parent is null. Wait. If child content does not equal null. So I can put that. I can steal that logic. Right, so I can say child content does not equal null. Okay. Well, I actually want to trickle this down. If I want to look at if it's the root. The root. Let's wrap this. So the root is back over here. The root is if parent is null, right? So if parent is null, right? I can do that. It's pattern matching there. Then if the child then it's the root node, right? Which is something coming off the image set. Image set over here. There we go. So I could say image set dot root node, right? Where'd it go? Here. Image location. So I should be able to do like this, right? And do image location, and I'm going to jam onto that. Wait a sec. That's better. Parent tree view, image set. Root node, right? And that'll give me the root node. Okay. Otherwise, if the child content is null, then it's going to be a parent node. Right? And that's not root node, that should be parent node. Otherwise, do this again, and this should be child node? Wasn't that it? Leaf node. Wrong one. I think that's it. That's really long, but I think we've got it. Yeah, Curious Drive. What coffee did I drink before Madrinas sponsored me? I wasn't drinking coffee, actually. I was not drinking coffee. I was drinking G Fuel, but not anymore. All right, so with that in place, now what do my bullets look like? Let's take a look-see at that. I have a feeling, though, we're going to need to do something similar that overrides and says, we'll go to the default versions of this. Or go to an empty. Come on. Start up. And we're about at an hour over. I'm going to I'm going to have to put a pin in this and call it here. Do I know if anybody from the .NET team will be at DevSum 2020 in Stockholm? You know what? I haven't talked to anybody about that. I'm not sure. To be perfectly honest, I don't know yet. It hasn't come across my desk. But I know a bunch of us were just at Svetug in Stockholm last week. So, where did I get my hat? Asks Convey. This is a custom made. This is a Jeff Fritz original. So, did it run? Where is it? Hello? Run my application, please. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the hat. Curious Drive cloned the Blazor Workshop project. Go for it. It's not up to date. We're working on getting that back up to date here. So, and there it is. Well, that's not right, because those images don't exist. That's why. Let's click into this, right? Those are going to, yeah, default leaf node, and default leaf node doesn't exist. Okay. So if they don't exist, we need to output an empty string. We can do this. We can do this. Yeah. So let's go back over to TreeView image set, because, right, has images on the tree nodes probably should be, yeah, has images node. Let's set that to false on all these ones that don't have it. We did this. There was an easy way that we did this last time. We had to go through this list. Let's see. Let's go down into source. Yes. Yes. Good. Okay. Let's put this on the side over here. That's not right. Bring that over. Okay. So now I can kind of look at the full list here. So arrows does not, right? I can say inside of here, has images node equals false, right? These ones do have it. Contacts does not have it. Has images. Yeah, here. Come on, clean that up. I want this all in one line. Default is default, and actually we saw that you can't select default. So part of me wants to just remove this. Because, yeah, let's remove that and get rid of it from down. We'll work on that. I don't want to change too many things at once. Let me put it back in there and we'll remove it in a little bit. Where is it? Events. Events. I don't see events in my list here at all now. I don't know what events is. And where did FAQ go? What? There they are. Okay, so events does has the other ones, that's fine. FAQ has them, that's fine. Inbox has them. MSDN does not. Okay. News has them. Simple does not. So here's our first that doesn't have anything. Okay. Windows Help does not have them. XP Explorer does have them. Okay. Done. So now I can change these so that I think I'm actually better with has images, with how it was. Right, I'll put it like that. The way that I had the collapse ones, right? Let me see what's going on over here. Okay. go. So now if I go back over to my node, right? So when I actually output over here, let's maximize this again. When it's deciding, yeah, if string is null or empty, image URL. So the image URL will be the double quotes. We should be good now. Let's give this a shot and see what it looks like now. And we should know right away because that nav on the side of the sample shouldn't have any messed up images next to it, right? Or not. Okay, let's see if we can fix that real quick. What did we do wrong? Right? If we take a look, let's drill down into these. This over here. Default leaf node. Why is it still trying to pick up default leaf node? That's not right. Is there any reason I'm using GIF instead of PNG? Because those are the default images that it came with. Those are the ones that were being used by web forms. So there's absolutely a consideration here when we get past making the original components work, putting together better CSS. SVG is very good way to put it as well. Put those into the mix so that we're using smaller, faster, better markup. That's HTML5 happy that we can use. Now, why is it not picking that up? It should be, right? So let's... Actually, I should see some errors coming out from my original tests here because they're counting the number of images wrong. It's finding a bunch of new images that we shouldn't be outputting. And... Come on. Come on. Let's go. Where are you?
You can do it!
Build succeeded. Yeah, I know. Put. Where's my tests? Right, I want to see some tests. Don't tell. Really? They all ran successfully? They couldn't have all run successfully. It doesn't make sense to me. Go back up here. Right? Because my tests that I had for the... Wasn't this one. Or that one. Or this one. Or this one. This one. Not that one. Nope. Yeah, it's showing me that they all passed. That can't be right. That can't be right. Because here, we're counting the images. It should be 4. And on... Let me go to default, right? This, we're counting the images. We're saying there should be 2, but there's clearly a heck of a lot more that are being output. Oh. Yeah. Wait a sec. I didn't put... I know what it is. TreeView image set default. That's how that should be. And I'm actually going to try and zoom in on just the TreeView image set here and just rerun this branch right here. See if we can get that to go. We will need a new test. You're right. You're right. And I expect to see some of this break because now we're inserting new images that shouldn't be there. Yep. There we go. So now we're outputting, yeah, 8 images were output. It shouldn't have outputted those 8 images, but why is it? Let's take a quick look. I think we can tidy this up real quick and we'll call it a day. Here we go. Come on. Yeah, see them over there? Why am I getting those? Oh my goodness, here comes a raid.
Hamsek raided my stream with 85 viewers.
Oh my goodness, Nahamsek, thank you so much for the raid. Hello, hello. Welcome on in, raiders. How's it going? My name is Jeff Fritz, and we're writing a little bit of, we're building some Blazor components here that look and act and behave like ASP.NET web forms. Thank you so much for the raid. What were you working on over there, Nahamsek? Let me know. Oh my goodness. Welcome in, friends. I see some brand new names coming in. You like my hat? Thank you so much, Ash Fox. Appreciate that. Thank you for the follow, Newbie Hunter, Nathan Cavett, Plentiful, Mason, is that Mason Hack 357, SQL Injection, Cybersecurity. Ooh. Thank you for the follow, Jason X, 0x240. Welcome in. Gundiculous. Nice. Is that wow. Is that Zatul? Thank you so much for the follow. Dubsec, Ash Fox, Unknown Field, Crypto Rex. Thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, a bunch of hackers here now. Welcome in. Hey there, Testerone 1915. Hello. Ayui. Mikhail Tall. Welcome in. Hello. My goodness, yes, we are blowing up. Is that Yavi Blank Back? Welcome in. Hack the planet indeed. Hello. My goodness. Welcome in, friends. Steve is going crazy. Steve doesn't know what's happening here. It's insane. Crickster G. Hale Frurar. Welcome in. Yeah, Steve's building up a sweat here. And the ticker over here on Twitch actually stopped updating, and just the Stream Elements one is going. It's crazy. When is our 12-hour party? It's coming, Cyberlash. It's coming. We got to get there. 10,000 is the magic number. Was just trying to learn to code Python at the moment, and you're having a mare. Oh, I'm sorry. Love the raid. Thank you so much. Testerone. We're working on, this is a series of Blazor components that we're writing. So that's C# and a little bit of .NET that runs either in the browser or on the server. Your choice of location. But I'm specifically building components that emulate the old ASP.NET web forms controls. This way, folks can hopefully copy their markup and reuse it inside of a Blazor project and get the same output. So, one of these followers is going to have a live stream fail named, oh no. Welcome all in, new folks. It's great to see you. Can we get a shout out to, oh my goodness. I can't even see the activity. Go back far enough to see the raid. Can we get a shout out to, I gotta go back. I gotta scroll back. Where'd it go? To Nahamsek. Thank you so much. And, great to hear from all of you working on security over there. That is really cool stuff. Yeah. We just build funny user interfaces here. And right now, actually, I'm working on this. See this tree view component over here? It's outputting images tags incorrectly. And I'm trying to debug and figure out why it is and see if we can get that to appropriately not output those image tags. So let me take a look here. And I'm using Visual Studio 2019 to help us get through this. So, yes, I am part of the live coders. Absolutely. How do I take security into account when developing? Asks Mason Hack. Well, I'm building user interface components here. So there isn't anything as far as user security here. I'm literally painting the screen a little bit. So I don't need to worry about user security for this. But when we're working with ASP.NET Core applications, there's a series of standards and features that the framework gives you to help prevent you from doing anything stupid, anything insecure. It's still possible to do things insecure. If you want to pass a username, a password, out there, clear text, you can do it. But by default, the features of the framework will limit you from exposing those things. You're never actually touching some of those things. So, thank you for the follow. Sarupke, welcome in. Or is it Sarupk? Welcome. So I'm trying to figure out, why is this outputting all these extra images? So I've already written some unit tests here that are going to expand, that are going to look, and in my default configuration, I should only get for this markup for what a tree should look like, a tree view with 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes in it, should end up with only 2 images, is the way that it should work. But for some reason, I'm getting 8 being output. So I need to go through and figure out, why am I getting these extra ones? So, taking a look, right? If I go back over to the markup for my tree node, and it's in this .razor file, which is HTML mixed with C#, and it changes between C# and HTML. Everywhere you see the little @ sign here. @ sign, everything down to when it starts a tag, the interpreter, the Razor interpreter, knows to make C#, parse, and interpret that way. Sanu Lohani asks, which font am I using? This is Cascadia Code. This is an open source font that was released by the Windows Terminal team that's designed to be very easy on the eyes, easy to read, and fixed width, really good for coding. You can find it out there on GitHub. It's real easy to download and install on any system, not just Windows, but Mac and Linux as well. So, is stringer null or empty image URL? It should be empty here when it goes through and it presents, and it shouldn't output this. It should fall through appropriately when it gets to here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to step through this a little bit, and I'm going to take that test that was failing, debug, and see what happens when it hits here for my various nodes, and actually take a look at what the value is that's being output there, because maybe I'm not calculating correctly. Let's see. Do Razor templates remind me of old school PHP files? A little bit, Cyberlash. Yeah, a little bit. We do need a font command with a link. You're not wrong. Let me take that as a action item here. Font command with a link to Cascadia Code. Okay. So this is... Well, hang on. Look at that. The image URL is including TreeView. Well, yeah, that's not right. Well, that's wrong. That's wrong right there, right? Okay. So image URL is over here. If not, string is null or empty, then it'll output the image URL. Okay, let's start drilling into the... I have a feeling this is going to be ugly. What if we did this? Here, let's do this. So there's my image URL property that I'm working on. I'm going to just split my editor here. Scroll down a little bit, right? And let's put a couple of little test properties on here. Make these protected bool is root, and let's just put the test in here to determine if this is a root. It's quite simple. Parent is null. Return parent is null. Right, so that's a little C# pattern matching that it's going to do. So I can make that is root. Then we're going to get the root element. Hey, what's going on here? Didn't want to move you. This one. Thank you. Then the next test is a parent. So it's parent, yeah, right? Protected bool is if it's the parent, right? So a parent is not the root, but it has child nodes. So I'm going to say, well, first off, it's not the root, and child content does not equal null, right? And yeah, we want to return that. Good. So this bit right here, we're going to say just is parent. Image location. Well, okay, because these are empty is what's going on there. So even before this, that's what's going on. Right. So let's break out this ternary a little bit. We also want to say, parent tree view image set root node. If that is null or empty, then we should just output the empty string. Otherwise, go through and do these tests. Right? If it's the root node, then test if it's a parent. If it's a parent, output the parent node. Right? Otherwise, it's the leaf node. Okay. I think that's going to be correct. Let me rerun my test and see if I get the appropriate number. Right, this should go back to 2 because I don't actually have nodes here. Crickster asks, it's a very good question. What does protected bool mean? So I'm defining the scope for this property. So this is a property called isRoot. It has, I can get the value of the isRoot property, and I still have a bug here in my test. I'll look at that in a minute. But protected bool says, first, we'll work from inside out. This is a Boolean type. So isRoot is going to return true or false. Protected, because this is an object-oriented language, the protected keyword says that this value is accessible to other classes that inherit from this one, right? So if I created another class called superTreeNode or something that inherits from this, right? And inherit means it has all the properties. You declare it with special notation when you declare the class. But if it inherits from this, then this is visible to that class as well. However, protected also means that it's not visible publicly outside of this class. So by making it protected, nobody else can see it, but other parts of this class can see it. So that's a way for me to kind of limit scope so other folks can't take a look at it. If it's root, it will never be parent according to isParent. If it's root, it will never be parent. Correct. Yes. So now what's going on over here? All right, so I got 4 images being output. Well, what are those 4 images? Let's take a look at what that looks like. Because I feel like we're getting closer. We're getting very, very close here. Let's see what we get. And, all right, there. All right, that looks right. I think the extra images that we're seeing, though, are the no image popping out here. Right? So I think that actually is right. Thank you for the follow, Pop Fluffy. Welcome in, Pop Fluffy. Hello, hello. I'm going to run the rest of these that are failing here, and I think I just need to change the way that it's behaving because now I have this no expand image that we need to take a look at here. So let's run these, and yeah. See, so I still have 3 that are failing that we're going to need. Why didn't you run? Hey, knock knock. Run over there, test. Let's go. Thank you. All right, so I have 2 that are failing, and I have a feeling that this one, right, when we take a look at the markup that it's generating, right, this should be 4 because I'm getting the no images being written out, right, and this one, no collapse, right, this one is... Well, I'm getting 8 images written out. Why am I getting 8 images? No collapse. This is bulleted list. This I'm getting 8 because I'm getting bullets for each one of the items as well. So yes, I should be getting 8. In fact, I can even go over here and we can take a look at that bulleted list and make sure. Yeah, that's correct. Oh, worked properly. And, right, just to make sure we even assigned the right images here, right? Let me scroll up, collapse that, click this, click that deal. This is root node, yes. And this should be a leaf node. Yes, that's a leaf node. This should be a parent node, and yes, that's a parent node. Got it. Got it. Oh, yes.
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
Nope, not at all. Okay, so this is no collapse. Right, it should have 8. I don't know what all these should be now. Let me rerun all of the tests again. Let's see if we can fix that. Has anyone used the bulleted list with checkboxes? Not yet, so that's going to be one of our next things to explore. But we are significantly over time. I'm going to clean up this one last test here, check in my source code, and call it a day here, because I have some other projects that need my attention. So this is image 1 should be the root node. Okay. So let's do this. Are you kidding? Where are you going there? No. You're not going to hold the scroll on the window, are you? There it is. Okay. So 1. Now. Oops, extra quote. Okay. Now, Eagle kind of had a suggestion on how to make this a little bit easier to go through. I don't know. These are being lined up and tested properly. That was nowhere near close. That answer from the bot. Artificial intelligence. Not quite there. Oh, tartar sauce. There we go. Run. Tries Twitch Loft. Hello. You have act in the arrange part of test. Kind of. Yeah. But it's right, they're kind of mishmashed up here. Okay, so this is 3 should be parent node. So 3 should be that. Run it again. And these should run very quickly. And it is placing them appropriately. We did see that, and we're just making sure that our test pins this functionality. So when we go to do the checkboxes, we can go and break that pretty good and be sure that our tests have the functionality correctly. So image 5 should be the leaf node. 5. Leaf node. Go again. Razor tests. That's right, Wanna Paradise. Yep. These are tests using Eagle Hansen's Razor component testing library. Really good stuff that we're seeing here. And being able to go through and benefit from his work helps make our component library development a heck of a lot easier to work through, inspect, and participate in. Let's see, how we doing here? This should, yeah, there it is, all cleared out, friends. So 120 tests passed. I'll run all of them just to make sure. We'll check this in, and we will call it a day. This has been a tremendous stream together. Thank you so much, friends. Big announcement right up front. Thanks to our friends at Madrina's Coffee. Execute the coffee command or the Madrina's command in chat, and you can get 40% off coffee when you order it from madrinascoffee.com. And, no, we got a failure in there. All right, let's go find it. Let's see what it is. Don't want to check in something that isn't working properly. Ah, you know what? This is because it's including the no expand images here. Show expand collapse. Ooh. Should it? And where did it go? It just disappeared. It just disappeared. I have a feeling some of this is the integration between the Razor test and the Test Explorer, but that disappeared and I didn't want it to. Right? I have a feeling. Where is it? Tree view, static nodes. I don't see it. Wish I could just click tree view and say run all the tree views again. Do this again. Yeah, and it dropped that extra one. Twitchloft doesn't. Okay, that's fine. You're welcome to whatever beverage of choice makes you happy. That's great. Yeah, it went down one. Quality Coder. Hey, good to see you, my friend. Quality Coder is another member of the Live Coders team. Hello, hello. Where? Why? What? Something's not right there. Let me rebuild. Yeah, I think you're right, Brave Cobra. Let's run a full rebuild and see what's going on here. See if we can get that last one to pop out. That last error. And see if we can get that lined up, get that fixed. Okay, rebuild all succeeded. So I have the Test Explorer. There's a setting in here that you can configure this to run tests after build. And I don't have that set. What? All right. This one right here. Run this one. It just discovered it. Somehow it lost it in the shuffle. But let's rerun that one. There it is. Failed. Now this one is saying that it has 3 that are being shown. I wonder. It was console, right line, and let's say cut markup. Let's see what that looks like. And rerun that test again. So this button up here that I'm hitting says run just the failed tests. And there's a hotkey there, Control RF, and it will rerun just those failed tests. It's after 7 p.m. for you, Sushinator. Oh my goodness. More power to you. Yeah, it's not showing me those. No source available. Oh, but if I ran this at .NET Test, I would see it, wouldn't I? Gosh. Let's put a breakpoint there and debug and just take a look. If it's a bunch of no expand images, well, it shouldn't even be showing that. Oh, the suspense. Yes. All right, I don't have that one because I don't have an image URL, so it shouldn't go down into that. Okay, so I can look at the markup here. Check this out. There is an HTML visualizer that I can click into here, and it'll show me. Look at this. So it's trying to put an image on these. Why? Let me click back into here on the, and I can mouse over the markup. And this is a feature of Visual Studio. I can click the text, and it'll show me. Here's exactly what it looks like. So it was on, here it is. Yeah, it's creating the default no expand GIF, even though the show expand collapse is turned off. So let's make sure we're inspecting that. This is actually a good error that we found. It is properly misbehaving, right? So the no expand image, that's being used, where? There it is. Else if parent does not equal null, well, we want to say else if, yeah, parent does not equal null, and parent TreeView dot show expand collapse. Then we show it. Rerun that. We should have that fixed. It is properly, the test is properly catching the error. You're right, Brave Cobra, and I said it wrong. You're right. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Get this right. Get this right.
You're amazing. You figured this all out already.
Yeah. All right. One more time. Run all the tests, and we can call it a day. We should not have broken anything else. This should have properly be rolling through here. It should be rolling, and let's see. Come on, can we get our celebration here? Can we get 120 out of 120? Come on, do it for me here. Do it for me, unit tests. Show me 120. Oh, yeah. We got 120 out of 120. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh, yeah. All right, no more of that. Let's call it a day. Let's wrap this up. Let's get things checked in. It's that final minute. Gotta get Mario home. Let's take a look at what we got to put into source control. Oh, baby, we got to go up a couple. There we go. So we modified, we fixed some bugs in there. We got some other things working. I'm just going to do a straight git add, because I think we're good to add brand new files in here. And let's say, what did we do? So we got our tree node we got our tree node TreeView image lists complete. Image set, the image set feature. We still have to do the custom feature completed, except for custom. We're gonna need to come back and take care of that. There we go. And I will push that out. That's available. This machine is connecting out and pushing that directly into the shared source repository on GitHub under the Fritz and Friends organization. There you go. That's where you can find the project if you're interested in taking a look, helping out, open an issue, send in a pull request. Happy to hear from folks. Even write some docs. There's docs that needs to go along with this as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Let's take a look and see who else is streaming out there on Twitch that we can raid. We had 2 raids come through earlier today, and 3 raids, 2 raids. I want to make sure we pay it forward. We send some folks off to another great streamer that we can share with. You know what? Let's take a look. Let's send folks over to another live coder, somebody we haven't raided in a while, and somebody who's working on Blazor as well. Let me put the... Oh my gosh, Hugo already put the raid call out there. Absolutely the right thing to do. Thank you, my friend. Here it is. If you're a subscriber, copy the first line. If you're not a subscriber, copy the second line. And we are going to get ready to raid... this is going to be CLW. This is Corey Hurricane Weathers. He's working on a jukebox that runs in the browser that you can connect to and work with using Blazor. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Three raids: Copper Beardy, Tomination Time, and Nahamsek. Thank you so much, friends, for those raids. Thank you for tuning in, for hanging out, and thank you to our friends at Madrinas for helping us with that announcement today. We're going to set up a visit from them a little bit later this week, maybe next week. You'll see an announcement go out from my Twitter account and also into the Discord channel. It's been really great seeing you and working with you today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Get ready to say hello to my friend CLW. That's Corey Hurricane Weathers, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.